I'm learning it, but what we're going to talk about is kind of our weekly schedule in terms of game planning for the first half, and then I'll open it up for some questions from that standpoint, and then we're going to get into ball security because for us, the most important thing offensively is how do you take care of the ball. We study every offseason the teams that are the best in the country, and we try to get better, whether it's drill work or whether it's how we're coaching it. We're always trying to improve from that standpoint. So it's not scheme, but they're vital things in terms of how you can structure your day, and then at the same time, how to own the football. So first thing we'll start with is how we game plan. So everything is obviously going to be back a day and alter a little bit, but I just want you to see kind of the structure of how we think of the game plan more than the actual day that we do it. The day that we do it's important to us. That may change for you. So for us on Sunday, we're obviously going to get in. We're going to watch prior game correct. We're going to do the prior game corrections. So we're going to watch the game individually. Then we're going to come together as an offensive and defensive staff, and we're going to go through the prior game. We're going to get our corrections done, and we're going to put them to bed. We're then that Sunday, we're then going to watch we're going to talk about the general overview of the personnel and the general overview of the scheme. So basically, the nuts and bolts of who they are. Their best players, their field corner. Their wink link is their shade. They want to be an odd front team, or they want to be a mixed team. They play odd and even. Or they want to be a four-down team. Whatever the overall identity of who they are, we will get one of our GAs or one of our analysts to have pre-scouted them, and then they will kind of present to us kind of the idea of the defense and the personnel groupings, the personnel strengths and weaknesses. And then we'll watch 2 to 3 full games of the opponent. Usually they'll be the last 2 to 3 games. Sometimes it'll be the last 2 games, and then there may be a team who's very, very similar to us that we want to throw in there instead of a third team. So that's by week. And then we're going to go watch our top 5 formations. So when we're watching those 2 to 3 full games of the opponent, we're not necessarily studying how they line up to formations. We are a little bit, but when we're watching game cut-ups, we're really trying to study the identity of the coordinator and the personnel. So those first 2 to 3 games that we're watching what players consistently get beat. We're watching what schemes in terms of GT counter gives them problems, or inside zone is giving them problems, or this guy likes to pressure after big plays. And you can't see that off cut-ups. You can only see it when you watch a full game through. So we're really trying to find out the identity of that coordinator. So we already got that general overview from our graduate assistants or from whatever coaches on your staff. If you have guys who watch teams or break teams down in advance, we're getting that general overview. And then us as an offensive staff are going through it. And we're now creating our own overview, I would say, when we watch those full games. Then after that, we'll get into our top 5 formations. We're a big formation team. We can almost line up in any formation known to football, and we will based off the game. So we're going to watch our top 5 base formations, which is 2x1 with an H-back, 3x1 with a tight end attached, 3x1 with a tight end detached, 2x2 with a tight end attached weak, and then 2x2 with a tight end detached. So we're going to watch those 5 formations, and then that's when we're really going to get into the identity of their defensive structure. So if we're 3x1, we're looking for, do you have auto adjustments, right? So your 2x2 call versus your 3x1 call, right? Does that auto adjust? Does 2x2 quarters turn into 3x1 cover 3, or does 2x2 quarters turn into 3x1, what people call mini? Corners man-to-man outside, and you play some sort of key or cover 2 inside. But we're trying to find out the identity of your back end by watching those formation cut-ups. Those cut-ups for us are going to be sorted by what you do the most. So we're going to watch the number 1 thing you do, then the number 2 thing you do, number 3 thing you do, and that's going to go all the way down through. We're then going to, when we're watching that, that's the back end that we're watching. We're trying to find the identity of who you are, and then kind of pair that with what we already watched, which is the weakness of your personnel. and we're trying to find out, are you a guy who covers up your weaknesses? We've already watched that your boundary corner struggles in man. Now is your number one call in 3x1 man? Does your call put him on an island? Or does your call protect him with cover 2 to the boundary and combo coverages? So we're just trying to study the identity of you in formations. The other thing, now we're talking about the front. So that's the back end aspect that we're looking at is, are there any auto adjustments and how do you play certain formations, certain calls? Do you carry verticals? All those things we're trying to study. We're then trying to get, can we dictate your front, right? When we watch, are you a team that puts your 3 technique to the boundary? Are you a team that puts your 3 technique to the field? Are you a team that puts your 3 technique to the running back? Are you a team that puts your 3 technique to the running back unless there's a tight end in the game? Then you put your 3 technique to the tight end. So we're trying to study defensively how you set your defense, right? And then once we figure out how to set your defense and we figure out how you set your front based off of our picture in the backfield, based off of if we have a tight end in the core or if he's detached, and then we compare that with how you set your back end based off of the wide receiver distribution. And then we can get an overall true identity of how you play. Because how you play 3x1 attached is the same way you're going to play 3x1 attached with a wing. You're still going to set your front to the tight end. You're still going to treat your back end like 3x1 and probably spin it if you're a team that spins to 3x1. So even though we haven't watched those formations yet, we've kind of developed an identity of the defensive structure that is going to help us understand how you play things for when we move forward. Because that's all we're trying to figure out Sunday. We're finding out who you are from a personnel standpoint and who you are from a coaching standpoint of how you play structures. So after we get through that, we usually call it a night. If we ever notice an issue with that, if we ever watch a formation and we feel like we can't get a beat on somebody, or we watch formations and they're pressuring a lot, those formations, we'll usually study why they pressure, which goes still the same formation cut up, but we'll study, okay, does this team bring pressure to the back in 3x1 detached, but they bring pressure to the tight end in 2x2 with the tight end attached? So are their pressures dictated off the same things their fronts are dictated off of? And usually we can find that out on that Sunday, like I said, that overall identity. So that's Sunday. Whoa, okay. We get in on Monday, and we have like a mini practice on Sunday as well, basically for our young guys, but that won't affect y'all. So we'll get into formation cut-ups again, but these now we're going to re-peek back through what we did the night before just to make sure we're on the same page. So we're not going to watch them all, but we're going to peek back through certain things. Then we're going to get into the expanded formation cut-ups. So that Monday is really when we're going to dive into unbalanced. Okay. How do you play unbalanced? Is there a certain auto check when we go unbalanced? How do you play tackle over? Do you knock the front when we play tackle over? We're going to try to find those rules formationally for you, because we're always looking for a competitive advantage in being sound. And what I mean by that is if you want to be sound defensively, but we can create a competitive advantage in the fact that you're gap sound, so you boss the front and tackle over. Well, how can we use that against you? Is there a way we can use that against you? So we'll watch more formation cut-ups. We'll get into the motion cut-ups with the formation cut-ups. So if we start in this formation, we know 25% of the time we're going to get this look, or 35% of the time we're going to get this look. If we motion, are you a team that bumps versus motion? Are you a team that spins versus motion? Or are you a man team that chases versus motion? We're now trying to find that identity of who you are versus motion. And then we'll dabble in third and short and goal line. A lot of teams do third and short and goal line later in the week. We like to do it basically our first day. So for you guys, it'd be like doing it on Sunday, getting in there and getting it done early, because we feel like third and short and goal line wins and loses games. As an offense, you have to be elite on third and short. You can't be 50-50 on third and short. You got to be 90%. You got to basically convert them all. Goal line, same situation. So we're going to get an understanding of how you play third and short. Are you aggressive? And that's a down and distance that can drastically change by coordinators, and it can drastically change by where you are in the field. One thing that we've really changed when we've watched that is by studying that situation more closely based off of where we are in the field. So third and short on the minus 20 on our own 20-yard line, that coordinator may play it safe. He may say, you know what, if you convert, you convert. You still got 80 yards more to go. But that same defensive coordinator, third and short on the plus 20-yard line, may be 50% cover zero. And his theory may be, well, we're going to get you off the field right here. There's not a lot of space left, so I feel comfortable playing cover zero. I'm going to be super aggressive. He may have that same philosophy starting on the 35 or the 30, wherever your field goal kicker feels like he gets into field goal range. So we really watch that third and short, not only from a standpoint of, are you a team that hops into bear? Are you a team that brings 4 down, double edge, pressure, your identity, but does your identity change in that situation in different areas of the field? And then obviously we're going to watch goal line, because usually there's some carryover in third and short calls with goal line and third and short calls when it's a must-stop situation. So in that third and short cut up, you also have to keep into account is it a must-stop situation? And a must-stop situation would be like, are they down 14 with 8 minutes left to go in the game? Yeah, they're going to go for it. Okay, or are you up 14 and there's 4 minutes left to go in the game, 5 minutes left to go in the game? I think those cut-ups, those third and short cut-ups, you can get lost just watching that cut-up, but not the situation in the game. So I think that's a cut-up you really have to watch the situation in the game to truly get an identity of what that defensive coordinator is going to do to you. And then we're going to study Wildcat. Wildcat's a huge study for us. Any team that plays one high, any team that doesn't truly play cover zero and bring everybody down, we feel like we have an advantage in Wildcat verse in our +1. So we're going to utilize that. And even teams that bring the +1 down and they play cover zero, certain formations, can we get a +1 by cutting off a backside end and leaving a guy wasted backside? So we're always going to study how you play Wildcat. So that's the day that we already have the identity of the defense. We're going to match, does your identity of the defense match the other formations that are heavier sets? Are you still putting your 3 technique to the field if it's tight end wing like you did versus tight end remove? Are you still spinning the defense to 3x1 or not spinning it to 2x2? And then we're going to combine your auto adjustments. How do you auto adjust the Wildcat? How do you adjust to speed motion? How do you adjust to unbalanced? How do you adjust to tackle over? We're trying to find those other identities to find any way that we can take advantage of you. So by then we have our base game plan in. So when Monday ends, which is Monday is Sunday for you guys, we have our base game plan, our third and short, and our goal line. So what we'll practice Tuesday is all base calls. It's all third and short. One period of third. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this to stop. One period of third and short, and 1 period of goal line. Everything else is base, down, and distance. Our top formations, our top calls. After practice, we'll grade practice, send out corrections. Tuesday will be third downs by down and distance. So obviously we break down third downs by 3rd and 1 to 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 to 6, 3rd and 7 to 10, and then 3rd and 11 plus. Once again, just trying to find an identity of who you are. And this is when we really do our third down pressure study. So I forgot to mention on Monday, any pressures that are issues, our O-line coach is going to discuss, and he's going to find answers to, then he's going to present to us how he feels like there's issues in that. If there's a pressure that's an issue to our base protections. If they don't bring base down pressures that are issues, then we don't really have a long discussion about it. We say we're fine. These are our pressure tips, and we move along. If there is an issue, in base downs, then we'll discuss it. And most of the time, if a guy's going to bring issues on base downs pressure-wise, some of those pressures are going to carry over into third downs, if not a lot of them carry over into third downs, because it means he's treating a 2nd and 10 call, which is a base down call for us. He's treating that like a third down. And if that's how he treats it, then there's going to be a little bit of carryover from those base downs, more carryover from base downs to third downs. So Tuesday, third downs by down and distance, like we just talked about, trying to figure out, one, is he a pressure dude? 3rd and 1 to 2, we already talked about, and we've already got put to bed. So we're really starting on 3rd and 3, and we're really trying to find out 3rd and 3 for him. Is that a short yardage down, or is that a 3rd and 4 plus down? We're trying to find out, how does he treat that? Is 3rd and 4 stop the run, or is 3rd and 4 stop the pass? And part of that identity is going to be who we are, because they're game planning us. So we have to self-scout ourselves and understand what do we do. But at the same time, usually defensive coordinators have a philosophy, and we try to stay balanced. So we're going to be balanced enough that hopefully you're not going to have to change what you believe in to play versus us. That way we can find out what you believe in. Because if you're very heavy tendency based, then teams are always going to play you differently than how that coordinator normally calls a game. So we want to be as balanced as possible so we can find the identity of the coordinator. Then we're going to obviously game plan our third downs, which that you a man team 3rd and 4 to 6, or you still a man team 3rd and so what is your down and distance that you go from man to zone, or what is your down and distance that you go from man to 2-man, or what is your down and distance that you pressure to what is your down and distance you don't pressure? Are you a drop 8 team? And are you a drop 8 team? And when we study that, we're really we would like to find a like quarterback. And what I mean is, if you're watching the game and a coordinator's kind of all over the place, in my mind, it means he's a big game plan guy. So I would like to find a like quarterback. So if I have a guy who can run, I'd like to find a guy who can run and just watch those third downs and say, okay, they played a guy who can run and he dropped 8 and spied. What do I think he's going to do versus us then? Drop 8 and spy. Because the 2 quarterbacks he played that could run, he dropped 8 and spied. But when you look at the breakdown, he only drops 8 20% of the time. Well, he's only played a running quarterback twice. The other 8 were guys who could throw. And what he did versus quarterbacks who could throw? He pressured and played man. He made tight windows and played man and brought heat. So the guy had to get rid of the ball quick. So we're trying to find that identity of, does he have an identity? Is he a game plan guy, or is he going to do what he does? And if he does what he does, then we just going to try to get a beat on it. If he is a huge game plan guy and changes week by week, we've got to find a few light games and really go all in on those games. And then obviously tie up blitzes to coverages and really discuss if we have protection issues, how we're going to protect ourselves. What are the tips for those issues? What are the tips for those protections? Wednesday, practice corrections again from the prior practice on Tuesday. That practice we practice in the morning. So when I say the practice Wednesday morning, we'll practice correct. And that Wednesday morning practice, that will be all third downs, or it'll be 6 periods of third downs, 3-4 periods of base downs still. So we'll still try to steal some base down periods. Usually if we're a big unbalanced that week, we'll jump into some unbalanced during that day of practice and bust those out. And then we're going to master the personnel strength and weakness. So that's when we're really going to look at our plan and we're going to say, okay, does our plan match attacking the personnel? Because everybody can get caught up in the scheme, and everybody gets caught up in the scheme because that's what you do as a coach. Everybody goes on a whiteboard. Well, there's X's and O's on a whiteboard. There's not Jimmy's and Joe's. So that Wednesday is when we really say, okay, this is our scheme. And this look, the ball goes here. And this look, the ball goes there. And this look, the ball goes here. Okay. Well, in this look, it's man. The ball goes here. However, in all these man looks, their best corner or their best player is the dude that we're going to have to throw the ball versus. Not a good play. How can we scheme this play up differently so when it is a man look, we get our best player on a lesser player? That way it's good versus all of our looks. We're sound, but then if they do play man, right, we still have the matchup. So that's the day that we kind of check ourselves and make sure we're not losing sight of what matters, and that's the players. And that's the one thing in years prior, 3-4 years ago, I think we used to lose sight of a little bit, was the matchups and the players. And that's how we originally go about scheming it. But sometimes you get caught up in the battle. So that's like our point that we check ourselves. Okay. Thursday. Pause it. Okay. Don't pause it. Do pause it. Don't pause it. This is really weird because I'm a pretty interactive dude, not like seeing faces or like having questions or not being able to like make jokes. So this is it's a different world for me, this whole Zoom deal. So Thursday, we have practice corrections again, because we practice Thursday morning. We then have backed up. So we're going to work our backed up scenarios. And when I think backed up, I think inside the 5. I really do. Because I think when you're on the 8-yard line, I think a defense will play defense. You're not. I'm looking to see if we're inside the 5, does that coordinator say we want a safety? That's really what I'm really concerned with. Does he say I want a safety, or does he say I want to make you go 94 yards? And if he says I want a safety, we're going to find a shot in the game, because the odds of scoring a touchdown when you're backed up inside your 5 are less than 6%. So if a coordinator is going to take a chance on 2 points, right? Well, we're going to max protect, and we're going to find a way to take a chance to score 6 or 7 in a situation where the odds of us scoring and going all the way down the field are very low. So that is the first way we look at it. If you're going to be a guy who wants to be aggressive, we're going to match your aggressiveness, and we're going to tell our quarterback, if you take a sack, just get comfortable on the bench. Know your outlet. We're going to teach them the outlet, but we're going to be aggressive if you're going to be aggressive, because we have a chance to score in a situation we normally shouldn't. If you're going to be passive and you're going to play defense and go with the theory of we're going to make you go to the field, our goal is going to be get the first down. And I know that sounds easy. That's everybody's goal always. But we'll probably know if you're not going to be that aggressive coach, we're probably going to get a base defense. You're either going to be aggressive or base in this scenario. You're not going to be the middle ground. Very few people are middle ground when you're backed up. You have a true philosophy. It doesn't matter who you play. You either get caught up emotionally and say safety, or you get caught up emotionally and say, okay, drive the field. So if you're going to be that passive guy, and we're going to run pass a lot in this situation, give our quarterback options, we're going to sprint out a lot. And then we're going to study 2-minute before half and 2-minute into game. Those are, once again, 2 different scenarios. 2-minute before half, the game's not on the line. So how do you play it? And then 2-minute end of game, how do you play it when you have the lead? We got to score, game's on the line. Most of the time, it's shocking how much more aggressive people are 2-minute end of game versus 2-minute before half. And then we'll study 4-minute. So when the game's on the line and you have to get the ball back and we're trying to kill it, trying to run the clock out, what pressures do you bring? What coverage do you play? We'll then review formation cut-ups one more time in 3rd downs. Basically, we'll rewatch the cut-ups by our game plan. So we'll watch our plays and we'll watch a cut-up and we'll say, okay, when we're going to recall our plays to ourselves and say, okay, if we get this look, we're doing this look, we're doing this look, we're doing this. We're kind of just rechecking the box schematically again, that we have all the answers. And if we don't have an answer, it's such a low percentage that they do it that we're willing to take that risk, which we don't do very often. Usually our play has an answer to everything the defense is going to see, or we don't run the play. And then we'll review and watch 2-point. So we've already put in our goal line plan. We'll then review and watch our 2-point plays that day. Friday, we'll go over practice corrections again, and then we'll watch the script tape. So the script tape for us is we put together a tape throughout the week of our top plays, base downs and third downs, red zone, goal line, shots, versus their top looks. And we try to find teams that run something similar to what our plan is, and then we show our guys it. So that the day before the game, our guys are seeing the exact play we're running, or as close of a play that we're running from, as close of a look that we're running, and we can ask them, what are you going to do here? What are you thinking here? And we do it with the entire group together. So that's kind of it's not a test, but we kind of treat it like a test, because we ask our right tackle, what are you going to do here if the mic walks out? Make an out call. What are you going to do here if the will walks backside? Make a slow call. Quarterback, what are you going to do if it looks like field blitz is coming on this play? Anything, whatever the play is, right? So that's kind of our group test that I think has been really good for us. And you can see the guys, you can see the plays you're about to run, so the guys can get excited that, okay, we have a good plan, because half the battle is getting your guys to believe. And then that is our weekly schedule. I'm going to turn this off mute. So if anybody has any questions about our weekly schedule, you can go ahead, and I know how to do it. So manage participants, unmute all. Anybody has a question, just ask. Right. Uh-oh, too loud. I'm unmuting everybody. Mute all. If anybody can put their video on and raise their hand, I'll pick on you. All right, I'm looking for hands. If you can put your video on or not, or we can do it all at the end. That's fine. We'll do it all at the end. Coach Cam, he's a vet. He knows how to do this. Okay. So now we'll get, oh, my XO's logged out. Oh, no, yes, it did. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second here. I got to log back in. It logs out every, crap, must have got fired. It logs out if I'm not on it for a while. Hope you all are having fun. And I have no clue because, you know, we're not in person. We're over the internet, but all right, coaches folders. Do. I see a bunch of people I know in here though. Just so you guys, anybody who is in here from Arizona, I'm actually from, if I don't know you, I'm actually from Arizona. I'm born and raised in Arizona. I'm actually in Arizona right now. So I'm quarantined. So it's kind of like being in Arizona, but kind of like being at your house all day, which is what I am. But all right, ball security circuit. All right. If this does what I think it's going to do, I'm going to be, oh, there it is. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I had it all pulled up and it was literally absolutely perfect. Until it exited out. All right. Full screen. So ball security, okay, for us, we're going to talk about good ball security. We have 5 points of pressure. We eagle claw, which means we're going to split the point of the football. The tip of the ball, okay, is going to go into the chest, and the elbow is going to be tight. So the tip of the bottom of the ball is in our elbow, and that ball and the tip in our elbow is going to be tight to our rib cage. We're going to say high and tight, which all that means is the tip of the ball is up. It's not directly up. We want the ball somewhat across our chest, almost at a 45-degree angle across our chest with the tip of the ball up, elbow tight. When we're running, we say the words rub our numbers. So we want the football to rub the numbers across our chest. We don't want to rub up and down like Tiki Barber because the ball can come out across. We want to rub the numbers across our chest. And then our verbiage is we want to cross on contact. So if somebody were to come tackle us, okay, we're going to take our left hand. If the ball is in my right hand, I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to grab my opposite shoulder. Okay. No, I know you guys can't see me right now, but what that does is you can do it at home right now. When you take your left hand, when you have pads on and you have a football, and you try to take your left hand and go across your body and grab your opposite shoulder, it's hard for most people because you have pads on and you have the ball. So it forces your right hand, the hand with the ball, it actually forces you to squeeze your elbow super tight to get your body coiled, to then get your arm across to grab your shoulder. It then gives you another cross. So now you're creating a cross with the football, which I'm about to show you. Okay. Do. Bad ball security. Oh no, it skipped my good ball security page. Here it is. So what we're always going to give the ball to the official, like the photo on the left. Okay. That is what we do every snap. Okay. So that's a good example. There's a good example of the elbow in and the ball up at an angle. See how it's not directly vertical, it's at an angle. Once again, elbow in, ball up at an angle, finish through the end zone. Okay. All right. Bad ball security, not giving the ball to the official. One hit on the ball at quarterback, and then that is atrocious. And he's a phenomenal player, just so you know. Okay. Other examples, we have a big emphasis on the situation. So we'll always talk to our guys about when is it okay to dive and extend the ball. It's only okay to extend the ball on a game on the line, touchdown, or first down, game on the line scenario. So if this is second down, not okay. If this is third down in the middle of the second quarter, not okay. It's only okay to extend the football and try to get it across the pylon or across the first down marker. End of the game scenario in which it's a must score or must get a first down. We just feel like the risk is not worth the award. Most of the time, the stretching isn't the difference anyways, and the stretching actually causes more negatives throughout a season than positives throughout our self-studies. Obviously, finish through the end zone. Once again, he's a phenomenal player, second-round draft pick for the Bears. But finish through the end zone. And then there's an example of the tip of the ball not being up and his elbow not being tight. There's no eagle clause, so we'd want the tips of his fingers to split the ball. Okay, recovering a fumble. Okay, how we coach recovering a fumble is we're going to slide to the ball. We're going to cover the ball. We're then going to bring the ball with two hands to our chest. We're then going to bring and we changed this year, we're going to bring our top knee to our chest. So not both knees, but our top knee to our chest. And if you're around, cover your teammate. Do not jump on top of the ball. Obviously, you don't want to jump directly on top of it. You want to slide to the left of it, like we just talked about. I'll have some examples here. So we do ball security every single day. Our O-line does it 3 days or 1 day a week, but our skilled guys do it every single week, and I'm going to incorporate drills. This is one of the drills the O-line does. It's a fumble recovery. Slide to the side of it. Bring the ball to our chest, knees to our chest, just like that, right? And we'd like this top knee, the bottom leg, it's harder to get over. So that's why we're saying this year we're emphasizing getting that top knee up. Here it is again. Slide to the side. Get your knee to your chest. See, we emphasize so much knees to our chest. They brought one knee to our chest. We want to really emphasize getting this knee over, and he won't get his knee over, but the tighter he gets that, the less area and the more coil he's going to create with his body. When you squeeze something, right, and you just squeeze it tight to your chest, compared to when you bring your knees up and you squeeze everything, your body's tighter, and it's harder to get in there to get the ball out. So we're trying to create basically a ball with our body by bringing everything together and surround that ball at our knees to our chest, right? Nobody wants to watch any more of those, so we'll carry on. Okay, scalded dog, catch and chuck. So these are our drills, right? So the goal of this drill is to maintain balance, keep your elbow tight, keep that ball in and up, cross on contact, and that's a different drill I'll talk to when we get there. So what we're doing here is we're touching. Okay, we're putting the ball in the left hand. And we're just touching, or the right hand. Right here, the ball's in the right hand. We're touching the ground with our left hand. So great example. That's why I put this one on here. This drill is emphasizing in and up. We feel like a lot of our fumbles come when we're falling to the ground, because when you fall to the ground, your natural habit is to catch yourself. So your natural habit is to catch yourself, which means your right hand or the hand, whatever hand you carry the ball in at the time, is going to naturally get away from your body because it's going to want to naturally go down, right? So this drill is training our guys that if we're falling down or we're going down to get our balance, yank our elbow tight. So right here, elbow is tight, ball is up, good rep. Right here, elbow is loose, tip of the ball is down, horrible rep, absolutely horrible. It's as bad of a rep as you can do. Right there, that's great. Look at the elbow. You can't see the ball. Can't see the elbow. which means nobody's coming in from behind to hit the ball out. Over here, right, with that elbow loose, somebody could come in from behind and hit the ball out. That's why we keep our elbow tight, is to prevent people from hitting us from behind. Okay. Trying to get to the next clip. Sorry. All right. Okay. So this is the, oh, let me make sure I didn't skip it. Sorry, guys. Okay. Look at that. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So this is, I didn't skip it. So this is our drill that we'll do with pads on. It's just a one-on-one live tackling drill. So we throw a guy the ball, they're 10 yards apart. We give them the middle of the numbers or the bottom of the numbers to the sideline. The defensive player is going to up down when the ball is thrown, just so he doesn't sprint and close the space too soon. And all we're working here from a defensive perspective is we're trying to funnel him to the sideline is the goal. So they're working sideline tackle. We're working one cut and go and ball security while making a live move. Because it's really easy to drill the ball security, but the best way to work ball security is to do something live. So he's going to make a one cut move. He's going to stay in between the cone, and we're going to emphasize the ball being in and up. Yes, we do not coach. Some teams will coach. You want the ball in the opposite hand of the near defender, right? We don't coach that. We want the ball in the outside arm, but we never want them to move the ball near a defender or within the same move. If you want to move the ball, you better move it before you are about to make a move. Okay, so if you want your offhand free towards this player, you better have moved the ball before then, which right here, his offhand's already free, so he's fine. There it is, and then there's a great example. I skipped by it. I'm sorry. I'm on this Surface deal, so I'm not really great with the video. But you saw, I want to go back to that though. Watch him cross. Cross on contact, right? It really covers up the ball. So if the elbow's tight, nobody can come from behind. If somebody comes from over top, your hand securing it. If somebody comes from underneath and punches it, right? You've got a hand on top of it, right? And because you're trying to grab the opposite shoulder, you're forcing your body to kind of be tighter and bring everything in to secure the football. There it is again. Now, they didn't do an up down, and this is why we started making them do an up down, because this is super easy for a defense. And sometimes we mix it up to make it a defensive drill versus offensive drill. So right here, this is more of a defensive drill because they get to remove space quicker, right? All right, the blaster. That was that one drill. Now we'll go to the blaster and the 3-cone. So this drill will change based off of who we have going. If it's running backs, we'll usually have them go through bags before. So 2 feet in each bag, run through the blaster, keep that ball in and up. We're just working 2 balls here, which is both elbows tight. See the elbow tight and the angle of the football. His arm is going like that. That's what we want. We do not want the ball to go vertical. We want it across. That's why we say in and up across your numbers. And there it is. So that's one of the drills we do. That was just the other way. All right, now we throw them a bubble. So this is what we do for wideouts or sometimes with the running backs as well. So we just throw them a bubble, and then they catch, quick tuck, burst through, and then we have a guy at the end, okay? That guy is simulating a tackler, and how we say it is it's simulating 2 tacklers. So we always want to cross on contact when I have guys coming from both sides. So at Memphis, we didn't have two guys to be on both sides to hit him with a bag, right? I know most people here will not have 2 guys to hit him with a bag. So we'll just have him simulate that he's running through an arm tackle, through the blaster, boom. And then when he gets out of the blaster, he has 2 guys converging on him. So what do we want to do when 2 guys converge on us? We want to cross on contact. That way we protect the football, right? So what I don't like about that cross is his elbow flares up when he crosses. So his right elbow is up. I don't want that because the ball can still come out. You could hit the top of the ball and it could come out low. When we do this, we want the elbow, the hand with the ball should still be the exact same. Elbow tight, ball up. It should just affect your opposite hand. Okay. Now we go to bands and 2-point seat roll. Sorry. Got excited. All right. So this drill, we've got a band on a football. We're just going to run 10 yards. The person behind him is going to pull the ball. We're emphasizing our elbow being tight and rubbing the numbers with the football. So we really want to rub the numbers with our football. The ball should be in and elbow tight. So you should not see any space between the elbow and the rib cage here during this drill, which you do not. Okay. The next drill we do here is depending on how, and if you have bands, every band has different strengths. So you got to move the people holding the band according to the strength of the band. But once again, we're simulating going to the ground. So we go 5 yards, we go to the ground. And when we go to the ground, I want the ball in and the elbow tight. So you see how his body almost coils himself. You look at the guy on the right, Brady, his body almost coils himself because he tucks his elbow so tight. So there's no chance if I'm falling to the ground, somebody can come from behind me and hit the ball out. That's what we're trying to protect here. 26 here, right? 26 is good, except see how the tip of the ball is down? I don't like it. Okay, the tip of the ball needs to be up. So because we have the bands, it's going to pull them. I want that person to pull that ball up and yank the ball tight. And right here, his tip of the ball is too far down, right? Which means if he gets hit, the ball can come out over top now. Because the tip of the ball is down, the ball falls out over top of his arm. The guy right here, you can't see my deal. My deal just went rogue. Okay. Him, watch him, 83 here. See how the elbow's in and the ball is up. It's pretty good. Okay. And then we just do monkey rolls, right? We don't do these anymore. I don't like these, just so you know, they're on this tape because I haven't had time to edit a tape because I'm not in the office. But the emphasis of this was falling to the ground, keeping the ball in and up. Basically, the purpose of the drill is to create unnatural movements, but forcing them to keep the ball in an elbow in, ball up position, right? But we teach that if you go to the ground, we want to cross. So we want to bring our right, we want to cross every time we fall. So I think this is kind of detraining them about our base rules in terms of crossing on contact. But the premise of the drill in terms of moving, creating awkward movements for them stays the same. And then we have a mat and fumble recovery drill, competition number 2. And this is basically when we're simulating falling to the ground or diving to the ground. So when you get into these spin positions, okay? So anytime you're not catching yourself, you're going to the ground. If you ever are going to the ground, we want to cross. So we just have a catch mat here, right? Like a gymnastics team would have. And we're simulating falling to the ground, whether it's after a catch, a great catch, and you tucked and then you're spinning, or whether you are diving forward, whether you got tripped, we're crossing when we go to the ground. So that's the simulation here. Crossing. Sorry, froze on me a little bit. Oh my gosh, this thing. Crossing when we're going to the ground. But we're trying to create different simulations throughout all of these drills. We're creating a different simulation of what we're trying to do. Now with the wideouts, okay, what we're simulating is a catch. Then that's a horrible catch, but he's about to be drafted. That's Antonio Gibson. Okay, we're simulating a catch to a tuck. So when we catch the tuck when we're diving, okay, we teach them to tuck and roll. So we would like him to tuck and roll his body to the left here and then to protect the ball. So that's what we're simulating, and then cross on contact. So catch, you're diving, so tuck and roll, tuck that near shoulder and roll, and then cross on contact. catch, tuck, roll. So because it's a wide out group, we're kind of mixing up the drill. If that was a running back group, you could mix up the same thing every once in a while, but you would do the other drill of being tackled. And then once again, here's another fumble recovery drill that we do with the skill guys. He's blocking, go get on the ball, knees to chest. So just another fumble recovery drill here, right? I would like the top knee to be a little bit higher there. And then this is our other drill that we do. So we have 2 competition drills, okay? And what we do to start every practice for 5 minutes, we have a ball security drill and a tackle drill. Defense does tackling, offense does ball security. These are the drills that we do during that circuit. And sometimes we'll mix it up with different competitions in different circuits. That way our offense goes versus our defense. Basically, we have 4 cones. 1, 2, can't see it, 3, 4. They're butt to butt. Both guys have to run around either cone. He could run around that cone or that cone. He can run around this cone or this cone. Outside of the cone in, and then make a miss. So what it creates is sometimes they come around this cone and he goes around this cone, so they're on opposite angles to make a miss. Sometimes they both go around the same cone, so now they're on the same side. So it creates different angles of tackles built into your drill without having to change it. So now it's an opposite angle. They both came from the opposite side. Same thing, we're trying to simulate a full speed tackle. And then for us, making a 1 cut move, staying vertical. You only get 1 cut in this drill or 1 move, and keeping the ball high and tight. So butt to butt. They both get to go around whichever cone they want. Boom, 1 cut, get vertical. And this is a great time for us because we're teaching make him miss, but the entire emphasis of the drill is tackle. Every kid in this drill is going to be focused on making a miss. Every coach in this drill is going to be focused on keeping the ball high and tight. So we're forcing them to get used to a full speed move with the only emphasis being high and tight, which most of the time throughout practice, that's not going to be your only emphasis. So this is where we get a full speed live rep where the only emphasis is high and tight. And that is our ball security circuit. Those are the drills that we do that we mix up. We'll always have 4 drills. We stay at 1 drill for an entire 5 minutes. So each day, a different group of offense is at a different drill for 5 minutes. Then we just rotate that group around so they get the different reps. And that's all I got. I'll open it up to questions. And Coach Cam, you can lead it from here.
Good job, Coach. Thank you. Anybody? See if we can unmute here. Hopefully.
Come on, let's pick you out a shirt.
Purple.
Kenny,
Yes, sir.
when you're working in your screen period, or how does that look throughout the week?
Our screen period, that will be on a base down day. So screens for us are now if it's a third down screen day,
Yeah.
if we have a third down screen, it'll be worked into our third down day. But that's going to be worked into the day of the week. Some days, I'd say all of spring ball, we have a screen period built into every day. So we do screens almost every day, all spring. And in fall, if we don't feel like we're good at screens, we'll take out a period of individual for our offensive guys, and we'll just work different screens every day till we feel like we're good at it. But the actual screen drill will go on during one of those periods based off of if it's a first down screen or a third down screen.
And then similar, you guys start, I don't remember, but you guys still do a tempo period to start practice?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So right after ball security, we go full speed, tempo versus the defense. Auburn hat.
He's muted.
Yeah, we muted him. Anybody else? Anybody got anything for Coach? Good stuff. Hey, nothing like ball security, right? I mean, that's an event in the game that changes games, changes momentum. It might change the scoreboard. I mean, you never know, but man, it brings the juice to one sidelines, right, and it kills the juice to the other one. So ball security is huge. Good stuff.
And I'll say this: I used to go to clinics all the time, and I used to think, man, all I want to do is talk scheme. Okay, the most important thing is not necessarily the scheme; it's how you organize, how you teach your players, which is throughout the week, and then the fundamentals behind the most important things in the game. And for us, we feel like we have a competitive advantage every week because we work ball security more than any team in the country. We coach it more than we feel any team in the country. But we feel like every week we have a competitive advantage because we coach the details of ball security. And we will spend time in individual meetings going over ball security, good examples, bad examples, because of the importance of it. So I appreciate you guys having me. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
You guys stick on here. We'll keep rolling here. We're going to turn this over a little bit here. Coach Adam, you with us?
Yes, Coach, I'm here.
All right. Hey, guys, we'll take a quick break a little bit. Go do what you got to do, and then we'll get rolling here in a minute. All right? Sound good?
Great. How you guys doing? Along with our defensive coordinator, Kevin Zipkowski. So tonight I'm kind of just going to talk about our defending the run, our philosophy on defending the run. We run a 3-3 stack. So I'm going to show you some drills that relate to that our stack defense. I'm going to talk about some of our pre-snap reads, our key reads, and then I'm going to show you guys some film to go along with that. So let's get started. But before I get started, I know a lot of you guys don't know probably much about Richards High School, but we're a very successful program in the state of Illinois. We're about 1,600 students, so that puts us at Class 6A. Our head football coach, Anthony Sheehan, has been there for 12 years now. This past decade, we had a lot of success on both sides of our football with an overall record of 89-27. In that 10 years, we've made the IHSA playoffs all 10 years, 8 times. In fact, we have a 24 wins in a row going. We also have made the quarterfinals 4 times, 2 semifinals appearances, and then a state runner-up in 2013. So, very successful program, and we hope to keep it going there. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of how we defend the run. Our philosophy on defense is, number one, we're going to stop the run. We're going to try to make that offensive coordinator one-dimensional, try to get him to, eliminate some plays from his playbook and, make him panic. And, we stress this day one from the first day of camp, saying, hey, we're going to stop the run, and that's, where we're going to hang our hat on. And we stress it every day to our kids, and, we back it up. We not only just talk about it, we're going to back it up with a lot of drills and a lot of hard work. A lot of the drills that we do are a core set of drills that we believe in, and we drill it every day. We're very big on fundamentals. We are also, technicians, and we talk to our kids about the little things. And saying, hey, if we're not going to just talk about stopping the run, we're going to actually work really hard at doing that. And we tell our kids, you have to go beyond the practice field and doing that. You're going to have to, go in the film room and make sure that you are, doing your end in film, making sure that you're paying attention. Our cut-ups, you're going to be watching our cut-ups, and we're going to work very hard at it. All the drills that we do, we try to validate it to what we see in games. We try to validate it with film. So, hey, we're not just making a drill just to kill up time. We're going to, and especially when we get into the season, when we're facing an opponent, we'll modify a lot of our drills to things that we see. We're very big on footwork. Just simple things like that, especially from our D-line and linebacker groups. And I'm going to show you a lot of drills that go into our footwork that we talk about. And at the end of it, we try to keep it simple. Because at the end of the day, we could be the smartest coaches in America, but, it's really not what we know. It's about what they know. And I'm a special ed teacher, and I'm a big firm believer of trying to get everybody to hit all learners. And, we got to get the message across to them. I'm going to show you guys talk a little bit, obviously, later about what we look pre-snap for, as far as backfield sets, formations, and people's body language, and then our key reads. So read, react, and attack. And we're a defensive that is about attacking and playing downhill. Read and react. Very simple stuff that we do. It's a lot of reaction. And then, of course, I can't stress enough about how, we just don't talk about stopping the run. We practice, we review it, we rep every day to kind of give you guys a sense of how we go about things. From a practice standpoint, is on like a Monday is our scouting report day. We usually have meetings for about 45 minutes to an hour. That's where we kind of install our scouting report. We talk about, obviously, the adjustments that we're going to make, talk about the other team's offense, and then we validate it with a little bit of film. Then we go out for a short practice, and then we get the ball rolling on what we learned in the classroom. We go do a formation check, and at that time when we do the formation check, we're going to start talking about, within those formations, obviously our adjustments to those formations, but hey, what backfield set are they and what tendency are they going to run? And we're going to have kids starting to call that out. After we get through our short practice on Monday, our kids go back into the classroom. They work really hard. We try to practice what we preach. We're not selling a bunch of fake stuff to these kids. And they are, I give a lot of respect and kudos to our kids because, they work hard with us. And Monday nights they come back and we eat together as a D-line and a linebacker group. And, we talk about that this is one big puzzle. And hey, you guys are all part of it. And we have to work together. These parts need to work together in order to be successful. So they'll eat together. And then after that, we get back after it. And our kids go through another packet of huddle tendencies. And at that time, those tendencies, we're talking about down and distance tendencies. We're talking about formation tendencies. And now, hey, our scouting report is being validated by facts. Like, hey, guys, what we presented to you guys earlier, it's not a bunch of, BS. This is, we're not lying. Here's what they do. That doesn't lie. And then from that, after we go through our tendencies report, we're going through backfield set tendencies and talking to our kids about, things that they're going to be seeing on Friday night. And then from that point, we try to hit another learner. We actually have these kids draw up things on a whiteboard. We're very fortunate in a lot of our classrooms to have what they call our smart desk. And we have our kids, hey, draw up, the top 5 plays. Here we go. Here's the top 5 runs. And, challenge your kids to do that. Be very surprised to see, after a kid sitting in a meeting and practice on a Monday for 3 hours, that they can't draw up a counter. And, this way now they're taking a little bit of ownership. And, at that time, we usually have some of our seniors kind of go throughout the room and make sure that these younger guys are getting, drawing this up correctly and understanding what we're trying to preach to them. And then after that, we go through some film again. The way that we do our huddle clips is pretty unique, I believe. We send usually our huddle clips. We send the full games, but obviously, we all live in a world that kids have, 5-second attention spans. So when we send our film, we're sending like top 10 runs, top 10 passes, top 10 formations, top 10 backfield sets, personnel, etc. And now, we're fortunate enough to have iPads for each student in our school. And now they're getting an opportunity to go on that iPad and, hey, I want to watch want to watch zone read today. All right, here we go. There's your, few clips of zone read. And, we go over that, and then we're, inside that Monday night, we're doing a little question and answering, like, hey, call out the strength, call out the backfield set. And now they're, getting that who, what, when, and where type a deal going on. Our basic philosophy from each one of our positions, right? Our defensive line, our stance and alignment and footwork is by far the most important thing that we teach, especially our footwork. D-line, we like to be in what is called a credit card alignment. I actually got that from a coach at Northern Illinois a few years back. His name was Dave Nielsen, and then he went to North Carolina State, and I believe he's now with the New Orleans Saints. And he talked about in his clinic about a credit card alignment, meaning basically the only thing that should separate you from the line of scrimmage is a credit card. So we like to, be very close in that. And it makes a lot of sense because he used a lot of boxing analogies within that. And he said, think about when you're boxing, the easiest punch to defend is the haymaker because you're winding up. Well, if a defensive lineman is off the line of scrimmage and his takeoff, and he's taken off, now you're giving that offensive lineman an opportunity and a little bit of time to set and, make his block. But if he's, right on that line of scrimmage and he's, hugging that line, hey, now he can get, right in that offensive lineman's face and do that, quick, jab punch, and, it's over from then, especially if you have the athletes that we like to put up at the defensive end position and our D-line as well. We look for side steps and angle steps. That's the number one thing that I look for and we look for as defensive coaches when we put guys on our defensive line, is if they have that quick first step. That's the most important thing. You might have a guy that has a great body that looks like he can play defensive line in a stack, but unfortunately some guys don't have that first step. Another thing that we work on every day is our tackling. That is something that's incorporated in every one of our drills. Last year we didn't do a really good job week 1 and 2 of it, but we started doing more team tackling circuits and improved throughout the year, allowing us to get to the quarterfinals. We also sometimes, depending on the trust that you have in our defensive line, especially our older guys, they can call things out as far as tendencies, especially if they're at that level, but they are, we have a golden rule that you're not allowed to call it the strength. Our linebackers, our basic philosophy, they're the QBs of the defense. We have a long tradition at Richards High School of linebacker play. Our linebacker coach, Coach Prattle, he gets our guys on that page saying, hey man, you guys are the ones that are in charge of this. You are the ones that are calling out the strengths, calling out the adjustments, and calling out the backfield sets. You guys are the leaders of this defense. Usually we want our guys about 4 to 4.5 yards off the line. We like to mug them up a lot and move them around, but if we're in a traditional just stacked area, we'd like to be there. As far as stance, we like to have a good Z in our knees. We call it a nice relaxed step, and then of course we teach a read step, or we call it a ta-ta. And just to give us a little bit of opportunity to read our keys, and I'll talk about our keys a little bit later of what they are. We are downhill. We're not side to side. We like to attack. And then, of course, we work on tackling as a unit as well. So here's some of the drills that I'm going to show you guys tonight from a D-line standpoint. I'm going to talk to you guys about a rapid sidestep drill where you can use a bucket. We're going to do a bucket and shout. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about another version of the rapid sidestep drill with using buckets, but in a different way. For linebacker drills, I'm going to show you what our ta-ta drill, our basic ta-ta drills. I'm going to show you some of the pool drills that we do. I'm going to talk about a zone read drill as well. First drill I want to show you guys from a D-line standpoint is a rapid sidestep. So usually, obviously I try to simulate the techniques that our guys are in, our 0s and 4s. We do this drill every single day because I think it's you have to create muscle memory for these guys not to think that you have to react and you have to get fast and you have to be in there. Like to see them getting a good 45-degree angle. Usually we do this 6 reps at a time, 3 to the right, 3 to the left. And this is, a drill that starts day one, and you'll see us doing this drill all the way to week 14 in the state championship if you see us make it that far. And it gives us a good idea right away of who has that first quick step, who can play basically, in good starting point for us. Basically what I want them to do is I want them to push off from their inside foot, take no false step. Okay. We talk about pad level with all of our guys being below chin strap. And then you could put a towel there if you want to use a rip. I got that towel idea from a coach from Stanford that I saw a few years ago. Got the opportunity to sit down with him, and he had a lot of drills and basically had the mindset of, hey, your defensive ends are basically like linebackers, and I kind of ran with that as well. So here's some video to show you guys of this rapid sidestep drill. Hopefully it works. There we go. As you can see, it's some of our older guys from a couple years ago. And they're in the gray sweatshirt or the gray t-shirt. He's got a little bit better footwork than our nose guard from a few years ago in the green shirt. But that nose guard was a special kid. He, our nose guard, special kids, he didn't have the best technique, but man, he had one of the best rip moves I've ever seen. So that's the rapid sidestep drill that we do. This is done every single day. It's, getting those kids in that habit of getting to that 45-degree angle. Okay. The next drill that we do this in summer camp, and we do a version later. I'll show you a different version later in this presentation when more towards your run fits. But we do this, we do a lot of group sessions in our practice. We do an indie session for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we do a lot of group work. Our group work usually lasts about 20 minutes, and then it could go 40 minutes if we do a group work of pass and a group work of run. And we do this in the summer when we have no pads. We're just, basically getting the kids to shout out where they're going. So whether our stunt is sending them to the right or the left, or we're going to have these kids call out, hey, if we're stunting to the right, we're going to call out, hey, I'm going to this technique. I'm, going to a 5 technique. I'm looking at this tackle shoulder. If you're the nose guard, I'm looking at this 2-eye technique. I'm looking at this guard. And then asking the linebackers kind of the same thing. Hey, who's your key? And then you can throw a back in there, and you can talk about guys that are in conflict as far as zone read and RPO. So, that's just a basic drill. I obviously didn't record that because that's a pretty simple one. Here's the next one, very similar to the first drill that I showed you guys with film. It's just another variation. Again, we're just trying to create that muscle memory and that quick step. Another drill that we do every day, whether it's in pre-practice or an individual session. Again, just kind of working that side step. Again, we're looking for a no false step. Again, we're looking for these guys to push off the inside. You could do it with a rip or a chop. We do it both. Here is the video of that. Usually I had these guys grab the towel, but we were doing this drill in the gym, and those things were sliding all over the place. But I'm looking for them just to get low enough where they're ripping with the towel. They're taking that side step. When they're ripping, obviously we talk about going from the grabbing grass, all right, and swiping grass, and bringing that all the way up to your ear hole. Again, we're working that quick, fast foot. I'd like them to get a nice, wide base when they finish. We're working on just getting into our gap, working on that. And these are 2 older guys, very good football players for us. Same guys that you saw in the first video, same thing, working that same thing. Next one, this would be a very quick one of what it would look like if you added just a chop over. We teach, Here's with the chop over. Now, when we do our chop overs, a lot of guys will say swim. I hate using that word, to be honest. I always say, kids, don't be like Michael Phelps. You're exposing your chest. we use more of a stab technique or a quick chop over. And I always say, hey, beat the drum when you're doing that drill. Make a sound with it. So now you're incorporating some of your other techniques as well. The next drill is more of a linebacker drill. This is a basic one. Probably a lot of guys do in their pre-practice, but this is our ta-ta read step drill. This is done every day in pre-practice with our linebackers. What they're looking for is, just getting a buzz in their feet. We want them to create that, a little bit of time to read their keys. Obviously, we want them to mirror our offensive lineman, which would be their guard, which we call which is the start of the sentence. We want them to work downhill on each rep so they get used to not, sometimes the linebacker will get in a bad habit of hopping or, taking a step back. We don't want any false step. We want you attacking. So here's the basic of what we do with this ta-ta drill. We have one of the kids simulate being an offensive lineman with the mirror. That's one of our linebackers from 2 years ago, very good kid. Actually, he's a baseball player now, but he would have been one hell of a college football player. And then he's, obviously, if you saw how he finished on the last one, he's coming off the edge. And we always talk about our guys when they're coming downhill, be tight, and try to, match their hip. So now I'm going to I'll come back to some more drills in a second. I want to talk to you guys about what we talk about to our kids about pre-snap. We do a lot of pre-snap reads. I think that's very important. But the most important thing that, we tell our kids is, hey, and especially our linebackers, hey, the number one thing that you need to get out of your mouth before all of the extra stuff is calling the strength. And we talk to our kids about, hey, you got to be communication. We need to communicate. Defense is all about communication. So obviously we hammer that point home. Then after that, our adjustments and our backfield sets are called. And what we're looking for pre-snap is how many backs there are. We tell our kids, hey, this is kind of like you're playing blackjack, okay? And this is going to help you figure out what play is coming. So, I'll use that analogy of blackjack. Hey, just because you get, 2 10s and, when their 2 10s are dealt, doesn't mean you're going to win. A high chance you're going to win, but doesn't mean that you're going to. We're looking for what the backfield set is. All right? Whether it's a pistol, whether the back is strong, weak, is he behind, is he in front? And we tag a lot of our 2-back stuff, even 3-back stuff. Sometimes we'll just tag it with colleges because it's easier. Maybe we saw it on TV or something like that. So like, for instance, we'll call pistol +1 a Tebow set, or 2 running backs to the side. We'll call that Auburn. And kids are just, when they see that, they're yelling, hey, Tebow, 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 Tebow. And then whatever the tendency is. So like, hey, maybe it's a counter or a power O or whatnot. Hey, watch that. Especially with our 1-back stuff, we're looking for guys that are in conflict with zone read and RPO. And we have old school option rules when it comes to a lot of that with in respects to, hey, I got dive, I got quarterback. So we're talking about like who has who, and hell, we'll have our DNs and our linebackers communicate and turn around and talk to each other. Because at the end of the day, I really don't care if the offense knows, what we're doing, as far as what, our responsibilities. I think it's very important to call up backfield sets and anything that you see pre-snap, because if you're calling out the play, hey man, I don't care who you are. If you're a kid and you're playing guard or a running back and you hear, someone call, hey, they're running a counter. Oh crap, man, here we go. They know the play. So we talk a lot about that with our kids. Like I said, we do a lot of that in the classroom. We do that a lot in our run fit sessions. We do that a lot in our group work sessions as well. Additional things that we try to teach our kids pre-snap, down and distance, and you'll be surprised about how these kids some of them don't know, what situations they're in. We try to do some situations within our practice. But, and I try to use the analogy with them. A lot of these kids obviously play Madden on their iPad. We see it a lot in our classroom. So I'm saying, hey, and Madden's a great experience, I think, for for any kid, because now they get to be the play caller. And what would you do on 1st and 10? Well, hey, coach, I could run or pass. All right, what are you going to do on 3rd and long? Well, higher chance of pass. So we kind of just talk about that, about those scenarios with our kids, especially in our meetings and even in our practice scripts and practice. We also tell them, hey, take a look at the pan placement of our offensive lineman. And, hey, is that kid's hands high? Is it low? Is he kind of standing up? And we'll show this to him on film on Monday nights and in Wednesday night review sessions as well. Hey, what is that guy doing? Is he tipping? Is he leaning? Okay, what's his body language look like? Okay, because, kids get tired and they're going to start tipping. We even look at back placement as well. All right, are they in front, especially in the single back stuff? Is the running back in front? Well, usually most of the time, anytime that running back's in front, you're going to see some type of power read, possibly a pass, all right? When he's even, it could be an outside zone type of play, right? Sometimes pass. If he's behind, we call that holster. That's where you're going to see a lot of your zone reads, ISO G type of plays. And then obviously if they're wide, that's another indicator of possibly pass. Another thing to look at the running back's body language. In the quarterfinals, and granted, we ran into a buzzsaw there with East St. Louis, but that running back, he tipped every pass and every time they were running the ball. He was very lazy with his body language. So we kind of emphasize that with our kids, saying, hey, is he leaning back? Is he standing? Does he look like he's going to get the ball? So these are things that we try to tell our kids pre-snap. Our basic keys now for our defensive linemen, we're going to the lineman that is their nearest threat. So if we're slanting to the left, okay, that we're going to obviously have one defensive end going inside to a guard. We're going to have obviously a nose guard. He's going to see a guard and pretty much a double team every time within a stack. And then most of the time we don't see many tight ends. So the other defensive end is going to a 5 technique, and he's going to read that tackle shoulder. And he's going to react to what that guy is doing and quickly. And, I know a lot of defensive line coaches talk about, holding gaps. But we have these athletes that, hey, if you're going inside, man, that's a gift from God. Go get it. Because, I feel like 80% of the time that guard is going to block our nose guard anyway. So just try not to get washed down and, not worry about the tackle. And I'll explain that a little bit more later when I get to those drills. Our linebackers, what we read, obviously we're looking at calling the strength and pre-snap and looking in the backfield first. But the main thing that we look at is reading our guard. That is the number one thing that, we teach our kids is read your guard. All right? Do not stare into the backfield the entire time. A lot of these kids in youth football get in the habit of staring in the backfield, even on our lower levels. Some kids tend to do that. And, hey, stare at the guard. The guard is the beginning of the sentence, okay? Once you get your pre-snap, look at him. Look at your guard, all right? And then, obviously, when the guard, you react to your guard, find the near back. And then sometimes we'll change our keys, game plan, pending, depending on who we're playing, if there's a lot of, wings or whatnot. With that. So here's kind of just a basic example of some basic stunts that we do and how it would look. Right? In this situation, our defensive line is slanting to the left. Obviously, the end is going inside. He's going to be reading that 3 technique of the guard. We tell him, hey, man, don't worry about that tackle. If you feel pressure, you fight it, you get upfield. Right? But most of the time, you're going to see a down block to the nose guard, right, with the double team. That nose guard obviously is going to go to that guard. He's going to read that 2-eye. He's going to take one step and try to rip to get upfield into that A gap. And, I think that's the most crucial part of our defense is having a really good nose guard, especially running a stack. If you don't have a good nose guard, it can make your life miserable. And last summer, we lost a really good nose guard from 2018 and 2019. We didn't have really anybody that in the summer that could play that nose guard until about week 3. And then when we got to the playoffs, we were fortunate enough to find an offensive lineman and convert him to nose guard. And he was really did a really good job. And I wish we had him for the entire year. But he helped us out in that position. But, in years past when we've had really, really good defenses, we've had a really, really good nose guard as well. And then obviously in this situation, our defensive end is going to the outside on the left, and he's going to be reading that tackle shoulder, reacting to what he's doing. And obviously our Sam and our Will, they're reading our guards. Our Mike is reading the triangle, the traditional triangle, obviously. And then I have that square box for those two guys are in conflict. They're going to be talking about the zone read and RPO and communicating to each other. And in this instance, our end is going inside. So our Sam is going to do what we kind of take an extra slow flow it, I guess, if you'd like to call it that. And because he's going to be responsible for, possibly a quarterback run in this situation. Here's it going the other way. All right, now that the end is on the opposite side is going inside, nose guard's going the other way. And now the Sam, has, he doesn't really have to worry a whole lot about the quarterback as far as pulling the ball or, as far in the zone read concept at least. He's more in charge of, taking what we call the dive. And then this would be an out technique, okay? Going back to some drills, so how do we teach these concepts to them? I'm a firm believer in, hey, these kids got to see these blocks every day. They need to, in order to have them react, we need to create a repetitive memory. So we do these drills sometimes together as a group, D-line and linebackers. Sometimes it's just the D lineman. And, the D lineman, we're doing this every day to create that repetitive memory. We don't want our guys to think, okay? If they think, then they're going to be robotic. They're going to, pause on you, and it's going to eliminate, we want them playing fast and eliminate thinking, basically. So we try to cover all the basic blocks that a D lineman and linebacker would see throughout the season. We'll have the defensive end react to blocks as if he was stunned inside or outside. Then you can incorporate the linebacker in this drill as well. Usually I like to put him in, pretending that he's a Sam or a Will. All right, and now, you can get 4 guys involved in this drill. It's great for reading keys. It's good for linebackers getting their mirror step. So I will show you in the next slide some examples. So this is an example of a drill using 4 guys. And all these drills we're going inside. So we'll set up, 4 guys, or it could even be done with 2 guys as a coach, just simulating the guard, and have a ghost man as the tackle. So what we're telling our DN on a down block what to do, that's an open door for you. You're going inside, right? Because guess what? That guard's not blocking you. Okay, so you have an open door, and especially if you're in credit card alignment and you have a great takeoff, hey, get upfield, right? And as soon as you feel pressure, because most likely you're going inside, especially if this is a zone read play, they're obviously going to try to wash you. Well, get up, work your way upfield. Take that side step that we've been working on the bucket, use that rip, and get upfield. Okay, what the linebacker could be doing if you're doing this with 4 guys is, hey, he's getting his he knows his defensive end is going inside. So they're communicating as far as zone read, as far as cue and dive relation. And that linebacker is getting that extra doing a little bit of a slow flow and getting ready for possibly that quarterback pulling. And this linebacker cannot just jump outside and expect it to be, quarterback pull. He's got to have great vision and recognizing where his open doors are. Then the next block we'll go over with these kids, and it's kind of just like a repetitive fast motion. We'll go down block, pull, reach, etc. is the pull. All right, so DN's going inside. He sees that pull. We talk him, hey, that's another gift. They're basically, 90% of the time when they're pulling, unless it's a false read team, they're giving that ball to where that puller is going. So our defensive end, he grabs that, goes inside as fast as he can, grabs onto that hip pocket. Now you get your eyes on that running back. Linebacker doing very much the same thing that he was doing on a down block. He's, yelling, pull, pull, pull. Slow flowing it a little bit. Now, back in the day, a couple of years ago, probably about 2012, we didn't see many teams that would pull on counter GT. But now teams have been, kind of mimicking what they're doing at the college game. Quarterbacks are pulling the ball in counter GT. So we've had to change our rules on this, and our linebacker, is going to have to slow and possibly, get over the top and, get the quarterback. Now, game plan pending, if we are not playing a quarterback that doesn't run the football and is not a very good runner, then we can change up the linebackers rule on that and say, hey, forget about it. There's no quarterback threat. I'm running. You might want to get to your opposite A gap. Then we talk about the reach and double team. This is the time where, your traditional defensive line rules of holding the block or holding your gap go into place. All right. Hey, this guy's double teaming you. So maybe you're on the back side of his own read or whatnot, or inside zone type of play. All right. Hey, you got to get skinny. Hopefully you got a great takeoff and that, you're getting into that gap and disrupting it. But if you find yourself in a double team situation, all right, make sure you're staying low. You're fighting like heck, using your hands, ripping and pounding your feet. Again, linebacker, kind of the same rules apply, except you're looking for getting the, if you get that block that you see, it could also be a toss or, a reach type of play. So you're working to get possibly over the top of that. And then the last one, obviously, your traditional pass. So kind of show you guys how we do that, how our kids get that muscle memory. This is basically just done with our two guys. And, this is, like I said, I do this every day with our defensive line. And both these guys are working that pull. They're going inside. They're chasing that pull. Okay. That one's a down block. He's just using it. And there was a big difference if you watched from the pull that he did. Sorry about that. So the first one he did a pull. He's chasing that pull, getting his eyes upfield. Watch his eyes. And the second one, all right, hey, there's that down block. Okay, he's expecting to get washed, rip to get upfield. All right, and that was a better example with the rip. Okay. That one, same thing again, down block, working that. Okay, and that was just kind of an example of how we do that with those guys. Okay, here's when we go outside. So then we'll do that like repetitively, and I can do that as a drill, as just a coach where I'm lining up and we're going they're in a straight line behind each other and we're going down block, read, base, whatever. Or pull base. And then here we go with the outside. So we'll do it from the outside now. And now the defensive end, he's looking at that, going to that 5 technique and the outside shoulder of that tackle. He sees the down block. He's, obviously we won't, if our D end is going outside, we don't want him going upfield. Now you're creating an unnecessary gap. You got to close that door. So he's going to take one step. He's going to get his eyes on that tackle's shoulder. As soon as he down blocks, hey, you got to squeeze. All right. Sometimes we might do a wrong arm depending on, a team that we're playing. And, if we want it to spill outside, but hey, we want you to react to that shoulder. Most of the time we're just doing an old school squeeze. So you see that squeeze, close that door for that linebacker. That linebacker now knows, because you've communicated to him, if you have a 4-man drill going here, that, hey, I see that down block. My end's going outside. I can cheat a little bit more inside. Obviously, my open door is probably going to be somewhere to my right. But in this situation, he would be attacking down and then probably getting over the top of the end if the end does his job correctly and squeezes. Okay. On pulls, all right. Same rules apply as a down block nowadays. Back in the day, about 8 years ago, we would have had the DN, if he was going outside, chase the pull. But like I said, quarterbacks are pulling it. So someone's got to account for him. So our defensive end in this situation, he is going out. He sees a pull. He needs to squeeze. And same thing now, this backer, he knows his DN's going outside, so they're communicating. So the end now has quarterback. Our backer is now looking at the guard, and he's going to be more aggressive now on this pull, getting over the top, probably getting to his opposite A gap. DN on a base, this is another one, hold your gap. So if you see a base block, we traditionally want our guy to take one step, right, recognizes it, his inside hand needs to press that shoulder, outside hand needs to control it, and we try to say, hey, close that, because when you see a base block, most of the time we see, when our DN see base block, it's some type of ISO play or wham play. So we want them to close that gap for that linebacker, that open door, and try to push that tackle back to that B gap of where he was trying to come from, and don't create it, make it bigger for that linebacker, because that's a tough play for a linebacker to make. And then obviously we work on a pass set where they're going, their best move, whether it's a rip, a chop over, whatnot. All right, here is how that works. Okay, we have a one-on-one when we're going outside. All right, he sees the down block. All right, squeeze. And then we're talking about protecting yourself as well. If you could see he's going like that, he's probably doing it, you know, especially this last clip. This is not really what we're looking for. That's kind of more of like a chicken wing. Don't like that. I want him, his, you know, hand to be down by his ankle. Coach Prattle, our linebacker coach, and myself, we'd go nuts in a practice if we saw that on how he's doing that. But they should be coming from their ankle and ripping up nice and high with that. There's, of course, what we would like to see kind of on a base block when we're working those base blocks, squeezing that tackle back. Right, and they're like to look at me in the camera for some reason on that. There's the pass rush, and they're just working, you know, I'll set a towel as a landmark for the quarterback on those drills. Okay. The next one is a pull drill. So this is mainly for our linebackers, and then of course you can incorporate a D lineman, mainly a nose guard, in this drill. This is done by our linebackers every day as well, some type of read your key, the guard. What we're looking for, obviously, is first look for that ta-ta. Are they doing the ta-ta? Are they doing that correctly? Then we want them to read the guard. We won't even put a back in this drill sometimes. Obviously, you could throw it in once they get really good at it so they can have kind of a tackle part of that drill. But the main thing is just to get our guys in their head that, hey, you need to read your key and you need to get good at it. We don't want our linebackers staring in the backfield after they read their pre-snap read. We want them not to stare back there. We want them to just continue to make sure they're reading their guard. And, of course, we want them to play downhill. We want you to attack. Okay, and this will also help them realize where they fit as far as run fits. All right, so here's what I'm talking about as far as our read the key drill. So in this situation, we set up, you know, we have two guys, and if you're with your linebacker group, you can have two linebackers simulate being a guard and a tackle, and then we have both guards, excuse me, and then you can have the garbage can simulate being the center. And this is obviously more of a drill for your Mike linebacker, and he's reading his guard and, you know, reading his key, getting over the top, nice and tight. Could be a little bit tighter. We don't want a big space in between, but he's doing a pretty good job on that. And then obviously we'll work it both ways. You as a coach could stand, obviously are standing behind the linebacker, kind of giving the orders of what those guys are doing, what type of blocks that they're doing. Okay, now you could throw in your Will and Sam look, and now you can throw in a nose guard, and you can get your D-line involved. And now your nose guard is going to go to the guard, and you just have them react to it. So usually, you know, in this case, let's pretend the whole D-line is slanting to the left. So a nose guard, he's going to be reading this 2-eye, this guard shoulder. And if he sees a pull, you know, hey, we don't want you going upfield and you know, not getting involved. Try to punch over. And if you have a good defensive lineman that could punch over and use a forearm, that's ideally what we'd like to see. We've had nose guards in the past that are unbelievable athletes. 2012 being one of them, we had our nose guard was also our best defensive end. He was also our best linebacker, and he was able to get into the A-gap without a problem blowing past people. And he was actually good enough where if he saw a pull, he would be able to just redirect and make phenomenal plays. It was something that I definitely did not teach him how to do as far as being that good. But anyways, he's going to work that. And then our linebacker, obviously, he's reading his keys, reading the guard, and he's reacting. So in this situation, like I said, D-line's going left. So he would know that if his ghost end is going out, having quarterback, so he's going to be cheating a little bit. He's reacting. Oh, pull. You know, you got to have him yell it out. So you're working on the communication. And then he's obviously headed downhill to his opposite A-gap. Okay. Another block you could throw in there, which hasn't been shown, but we see a lot of this where the guard is actually going what we call an out call. And, you know, for nose guard, now you're basically becoming a defensive end and chasing the pull. Linebacker, everything gets thrown out. You see an out. Most of the time they're doing an out because of some type of toss G scheme or whatnot. And they're, hey, get out. See that out? Go, out. Okay. All right, the next one. This is a conflict drill. You could do this with both groups or just your defensive line. This is a zone read drill. All right, and I kind of been hammering that home with you guys throughout this presentation about our rules on that. We call it cross keying and who's in conflict. I think we got that from a clinic a couple years ago, especially the conflict one. I think Coach Zebo and I were at the same one or something like that, and we both liked that word, and we've kind of stuck with it. And the cross key thing, the same thing, recognizing where that back is and who's in conflict and who has who with the old school option rules. This forces our guys to communicate as well, because some kids don't like to communicate and like to use their voices, so we're forcing them to communicate here. If you're going inside, especially the end, obviously you're going to be in charge of the running back getting the ball, which we call, the old traditional dive. But hey, we want him to attack that mesh point as well. That's ideally where we want him to be attacking. And then obviously the will would be if the end's going inside, we'd have quarterback, and then vice versa for those guys. And then obviously pistol is the most hardest thing for kids, I think, to defend, or anybody to defend. But I'm sure that might be a question. Is, all right, well, what are your rules as who's in conflict when you see pistol? Well, in that situation, right, hey, both sides are in conflict now. And then obviously at the snap of the ball, guy's going to turn, right? Then you're going to figure out really fast how or who's, truly in conflict. But that's where I think if you incorporate all those drills about reading and reacting and playing fast, this is going to become easier to them when you get to that point. Okay, here's the conflict drill. This one is just an example with just using your defensive line. And I'll have it with the linebackers as well. So it's actually the first one with the linebackers. Apologize. So this is with our linebackers. We do this in our group sessions at times. So they're communicating, defensive ends on this situation's going inside. The backer is slow flowing. He probably needs to do a little bit better of taking a step towards his actual read key on this and probably going downhill a little bit, but he's doing a pretty good job of knowing where he's going. You can't jump out, like I said earlier, and automatically assume that since, hey, that's my responsibility, I need to jump there. No, we don't want that. So that's one thing we try to hammer home to our guys as well. Where did my mouse go? Okay, here is another same deal. I would have liked them to be a little bit tighter as well. You want those guys, those linebackers, to be tight off that tackle's ass as well. Here's it going the other way. Right now our defensive end, he's going out. So our linebacker, he's cheating a little bit more with his key read. Defensive end needs to squeeze and then get his eyes on that quarterback. Okay, and then this is how you could do it. Just if if you're a defensive line coach and you want to do that with your position group and work on that, you could just do it within just an individual position group and working on the same thing. Right? Obviously in this drill tape, I'd like this guy to be a little bit lower. When he's squeezing, he's playing a little bit high, and he needs a little bit wider base to be in a better better position to make a play on the quarterback. And there's him working the inside move. You saw him; he felt pressure, so he started getting upfield. All right, and this is our kind of the last drill before I get some tape going here. I know I'm kind of running a little short on time. We do this a lot in our run fits. We do this every day, whether it's in our group session, whether it's in a segment of practice where we have downtime, especially when we get to, our roster consists of around 50 guys, but come playoff time, gets, we bring up a couple of sophomores, and we usually amp our roster up to about 60 guys. So we're able to have less starters on our scout team, and kind of get that college look of having more guys get involved in a practice. But we do this even during our offensive team's part, where our offense is going against our scout D. We'll take our defensive line, our linebackers, and we're going to go through it again. Another repetition of calling things out, calling out backfield sets. I set up orange paint buckets, and we're calling things out again. So now, hey, they've done it a billion times by now. So come Friday night, there should be, hey, man, this has been hammered home. You've got it on Monday in a scouting report. You got it Monday in a team, a linebacker D-line meal and meeting. You got it in practice on Tuesday. You got it in practice on Wednesday, which is our defensive day. We review it on Wednesday night. And then Thursday, you get it again, and you keep hammering it home. But this one, it's a drill. You can use buckets, have them call out, and go through your run fits. And, I, as a coach, usually will simulate if they're a pulling team, the guard pulling and calling things out. Now, how does this all work with our stunt game? So showing you guys how, we would defend a counter GT. So here's some film to validate some of the stuff that I was talking about. You have the guard or the defensive line in this scenario going to the left. Obviously, our end is going to be going inside nice and fast. Hopefully, he can disrupt this pull. And a nose guard's going to see a double team. DN's going out. So obviously, like we talked about, he's reading that. He needs to squeeze. So then that Will now needs to get over the top. This Sam is going to slow flow it just a little bit because that defensive end's going inside, and he would have the quarterback if he pulls it. Okay, here's what it would be if it was the opposite. Now, defensive end is going outside. He now sees his key is pulling. He's got to squeeze because he would have the quarterback to pull. Nose guard, obviously going to the opposite guard this time. He's going to try to punch over. End's going inside. Hey, you're going to get an open door or washed here, but you could disrupt this whole entire play. And there's actually a clip here I'll show you in a second of that defensive end going inside, and he disrupts this whole play, and this running back is forced to bounce it outside. And then obviously those squares are just showing the guys that are in conflict. So here's a clip from a couple years ago, our semifinal team. Okay, in this situation, our defensive line is slanting to our left. So now we have a left call. So all those techniques that I just went over are put into a play. So we have that defensive end at the bottom here. He's going outside. He should be, all right, his key, he's a down block. He should squeeze. It actually should be a little bit tighter on this, but not a bad job. Now he's forcing this thing to bounce outside, which is really good. Here, obviously he's attacking is where he thinks his open door is. Our defensive end's doing a good enough job where he's closing it. So now that guy's got it. He's going to get over the top, and he makes a great read on this play. If you watch on this one, we had an actual stunt going on. So we're stunting our Sam backer. So our Sam backer, he would have been in charge of getting the quarterback if the quarterback would have pulled it. And actually in this game, I mentioned earlier, I believe, 5 out of the 6 guys in our box here that are consistently in the box are very similar type of football players. Our ends are basically, linebackers that are fast, but can't drop in coverage. This is a round 1 game from 2 years ago, and our starting defensive end has actually had to play Mike Backer for us. And, he's hammered home with these rules as well. So it was a very smooth transition for him. He only had like 1 or 2 days to practice. I mean, he wanted to play linebacker, trust me, the whole entire season. But he did a great job for filling in. We had a couple injuries, and he had to play. And, if you just watch, he's understanding his key reads. He does a good job of reading the triangle, and he reacts. And he's recognized the pull. I mean, he could have obviously done a better job of ripping to get over the top, but hey, that's not bad for a kid that's never played linebacker in a round 1 playoff game against a pretty good football team. here's another clip. I believe this is now us. That's the same one. Sorry. Now is another clip of now the D line slanting the other way. So now I believe we're going to be slanting to our right. And this is, what we're talking about. We have fast defensive end right here, and he's going inside, and, he's going to disrupt this pull. All right. And watch how he does that. He disrupts it and does a pretty nice job for us on that one. Backside end, he's going too far upfield. Not a big fan of that. But then I really like how our linebacker played this. Our Will, again, did a really good job of recognizing and getting over the top of that block. Here's another one. This is from actually this year. This is actually a better job of blowing up the pull than the last one. Apologize on that one. We're going to be slanting to our left here, going inside, and he disrupts this pull. And this running back's Division I running back, he's now forced, hey, there's nowhere I can go. I can't go to that. I got to get over the top and bounce it. Oops, sorry. Next play is kind of just like a power O. Basically, obviously, it's drawn up. I didn't show you guys arrows of how to do that, of what we're doing, but I know you guys kind of got the grasp of it now. Blowing it up, key reads, making sure that we're reading. This time we're, doing just a basic stunt. Oops, sorry. I don't want to get too. So we're reading it, going inside to our left. All right, and it is a perfect example of DN getting inside and chasing that pull. All right, and he helps making that play. Defensive end on the outside here, he's squeezing. Could have done a better job of sitting down, but he does a good job of taking that on. And now, we're forcing that thing to bounce. I'm kind of running short on time, so I wanted to show you guys quickly. I'm going to quickly go through to the zone read since I kind of talked about that. Obviously, in this situation, the will and the end are in conflict on the left side of this example. Obviously, if they're going inside, that end, he's going to go inside. He's in charge of the dive. The Will is going to be in charge of the quarterback. Obviously, if he's going outside, he would have quarterback. Will could cheat a little bit more, and he would have that dive part. Here is a zone read from the quarterfinals last year or 2 years ago. And we're basically have our Will moved up in this situation. It was probably a formation check. Slant inside. Obviously, if you look down, 52, he's the one that's in conflict as the end. He would be in charge of the quarterback. He's taught, if he has a tight end, to protect himself, but still look inside. And he would have helped. He would have got the quarterback. Here's us blowing up one against another team, slanting to a different stunt with our nose going. But the end's going inside. He blows that up as well. Number 11 linebacker was ready for the quarterback. I'll get you guys one more clip, and then I'll take some questions if you guys have any. This is a zone read from earlier this year. Again, we had our Will up for a stunt. Will's in charge of the quarterback because the DN's going inside. Obviously, kind of looks a little robotic. Could have been a little tighter, but we'll go straight to the quarterback. Our end, that's actually a sophomore playing. He's a great job of adjusting, getting over the top of that. So pretty much what I got for you guys today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Our defensive coordinator is also on here, so you definitely feel free, Coach Zeb, to chime in as well.
Hey, thanks a lot, Coach. I appreciate it. Good stuff. Hey, guys, if you have a question, activate your camera. We'll see you, and then we'll unmute you, and we'll go that route rather than unmuting everybody. How's that? Any questions for Coach? Anybody? Can you hear me? We good?
Awesome.
All right. Hey, Coach, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot. Very good stuff. Good luck to you guys. Stay safe out there. Appreciate you coming on. And you guys got your coach's information there. If you guys want to try to hook up with him another time, and I'm sure he'll anxious to talk some ball with you. So I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, feel free. You know, we have an open door policy. So if you guys are interested in any of this stuff, you know, please contact. Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, so let's go. Let's do this. We've got Coach Gower, I believe, is on already. I see you there, Coach. Let me let's try to get you going, buddy. Can you hear us, Coach?
Yes, sir. You guys hear me?
All right. Yeah, I got you.
Very good.
Let me share the ball here. So, Coach, how you doing tonight?
Doing well, guys. How's everybody?
Good. I'm looking forward to this because I'll tell you, I've followed you for a while. I saw you speak a couple times. I know you're a high demand guy as far as getting around the country and showing your stuff. And I know why, because really good stuff. I know you've coached at that high level and around the area in Oklahoma and so I'm sure it'll be a treat for our guys to hear what you got to say. I'll remind everybody we're going to be muted, right? As Coach gets going here, we'll be muted just so he can get through his stuff. Make some mental notes, make some notes for yourself. If you got any questions or whatever, we'll get to some questions at the end, and we'll go that route. All right. So, Coach, you got the floor, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no, appreciate you, man. You know, I hope you guys get something out of this. My name's Ty Gower. I'm defense coordinator in Princeton, Texas. Born and raised Oklahoma guy. You know, came down to Texas, I guess in April, got the job in April. And, you know, we're growing, we're busting at the seams. You know, we've got 350 seniors currently and 600 eighth graders on the way. So we are, we say it's a great day to be a Panther, and it really is. Obviously, you know, with the COVID stuff, it's nuts and crazy right now, but it's awesome. So you guys, you know, like I said, you got questions, you got comments, you got a better way to do things, man, holler at me. So yeah, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be around great people, be around great coaches. I'm a coach kid myself. I've flown, you know, I've done glacier clinics for Seattle, Indianapolis, Reno, Phoenix, Dallas, you know, just LA, spoken all over the country, Charlotte, and you know, appreciate Coach having me on. So what we're talking about tonight is, let me share my screen right quick. Let's go here. All right, everybody see that? We good, Coach?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Perfect.
There's my contact, guys. There's my Twitter, @Coach Gower, all one word. So if you want to DM, it's, let's see, what time is it here? It's 7:30 here, but I'm a night owl. Got the kid in, you know, bathed up and in bed. So you know, you got questions, comments, better way to do things, get at me. So first thing we're going to talk about, guys, I'll go over influence a little bit. We're going to talk about defending 20 personnel. Okay, different ways we do it. With us, we're an odd front structure. Okay, I come from a 4-3 family. I come from a 4-3, cut my teeth. That's what I grew up in. You know, a lot of overpower at Tampa, a lot of Pelini, a lot of Stoops, a lot of Venables terminology stuff. You know, I started my coaching career. I started my coaching career at 23 years old, coaching secondary at Henderson State University in Arkansas, Division II school in Arkansas. I thought I knew something, and it was awesome. I loved it, and you know, we were 4-3 there. From there, I went to Broken Arrow High School, coaching secondary, and we were 4-3. You know, and then I took my first DC job at I guess what would be 25 years old, and went to a 3-4. Walked the hallways of a small high school in Oklahoma, and had to go 3-4. And so had to learn it, had to fit it up, had to you know, go from the 4-3 thought to the 3-4 thought, and how to defend 10, how to defend 11, how to defend 20. Now, here's kind of the deal. Here's kind of my disclaimer. Guys, if you want to talk 22 and 32 and power out and all that stuff, I'm the wrong guy to talk to. I see 10, 11, 20 with 1 week of wing T. I don't see flex bone. I don't see veer. I don't see spinner series. I don't see any of that stuff. So now I'd love to learn from you, but we see 1 back, gun, and 20 sniffer type stuff. So what we're talking about is defending 20 personnel to start. So how we classify it, okay, why 20 personnel for the offense? Obviously, ability to add another gap, ability to have 1 back or 2 back run game. So what I mean by that example is, you get that sniffer type. We're going to talk about sniffer tonight. You get that true sniffer who sometimes is a sniffer behind the guard or behind the tackle. But, man, if you moved up 6 inches, he's going to be a tight end on a 3-man surface. You're going to get guard, tackle, tight end. You're going to get 1 back run game, 1 back stretch, 1 back counter, power stuff. But if you get, the guy behind the guard, the guy behind the tackle, now the playbook's open, man. You're getting, you're getting GH, you're getting split zone, you're getting insert. I mean, you're getting all sorts of stuff with the ability of the offense to add another gap. And with that, they want to suck in that free safety. They want to figure out how you're going to fit the 7th guy in the box and throw the X, isolate the X and throw one-on-one away from twins softly. So how do we combat it? What's our answers? Different front variations. I'm a big believer in having multiple answers, having a lot of tools in the toolbox. We're not one of those that, the old saying of, I don't want the guy who's practiced, 1,000 kicks one time, or the other verbiage is the 1 kick I've practiced 1,000 times. We're going to practice 1,000 kicks one time. I mean, that's our belief in playing over, playing under, playing the tight front, what we call Okie, playing quarters, playing cover 3, playing cover 1, playing Tampa. I truly believe in being multiple. So how do we combat 20? Different front variants, okay, whether it be a 5 shade 4, a 4 shade 5, 4-eye, 0-4-eye. I'll talk about bringing a 4th man rush. So we're going to change up our coverage of twins too. How we're going to combat that. What's your answer to the twin side? Are you always playing, palms or 2 read? Like, again, with us, when you see us, and it's don't make no mistake. I've done a lot of these webinars, and with us, if you follow me at all, you're going to get too high structure. You're going to get quarters, you're going to get Tampa. You'll get a little spin 3. You'll get fire zones, the 3D 300 stuff. But with us, we've got to change up what our coverage is of twins. Teach a free safety as a linebacker. And I'm blessed in Texas. I've got a D-line coach. I've got an inside linebacker coach. I've got an outside linebacker coach. I've got a corners coach, and I coach the 2 safeties. So there's me and 4 other full-time coaches, full-time teachers in the building on the high school campus that, we're blessed. We got a full freshman staff. They coach those guys. And, me, I coach the strong, what we call the strong free safety. I teach that free safety like a linebacker, man. So we're going to talk how we kind of fit him as a linebacker. And then we're talking about 4-man rush, how we bring an outside backer. I'll show you one clip of that. Different ways to combat 20. And so, how do you define it? How do you define 20? Sometimes those guys get what we call 20 light, where it's 10, right? It's 2x2 or it's 3x1, but that trip guy, he can get in the backfield and be split back, right? And so you got to think about 20 light and 20 heavy are usually not the same. Now, I know you're thinking that, well, it can be, but for the league we play in, when we get 20 light or even 10 personnel and they put that guy, on first down it was 2x2, on second down he's next to the quarterback, right? Split back. Well, in that scenario, they're not going to ask that guy to go kick out the 5 technique. They're not going to ask that guy to go insert on the Mike backer. So when you think about how to classify it, you're thinking about 20 light or 10 personnel about, it's stretch, it's option, it's boot game. Okay, you're probably not going to get a lot of power kick, right? A lot of insert, a lot of gap scheme with a light guy, with the guy who's also a trip. So you got to classify how you're classifying 20. And then 20 heavy, 20 heavy, okay, that guy is down as a tight end, a 3-man surface, but he's also in the core, meaning he's behind the guard, he's behind the tackle. Now you're getting split zone. Now you're getting insert zone. Now you're getting GH, right? Now you're getting 6-man pro or 7-man pro. So you got to think about what is 20 exactly? Is it 20 light, where again that guy's he's a receiver, or is it 20 heavy, where that guy's a tight end? That we talk about that on Saturday and Sundays on game plan about how to defend that. And formation structure. When we're breaking it down, we're breaking down the game, and we talk about 2 by 1. It's 20 light or 20 heavy, doesn't matter. When it's twins one way and split side the other way, we call it twin open. If it's twin one way and split or twin open the other way. And so we classify the sniffer and the running back alignment differently. So like if the sniffer were set towards twins, we would say near. If it was set away from twins, we'd say far. So like if you had examples, so if you picture this with me, if you had the sniffer next to twins, it would be near. If you had the back away from twins, it would be near minus. So it would be twin open near minus, right? It's very, very crucial to understand, what kind of run game you're going to get. You might get like same side GH, or you might get same side hack, right? Same side split zone. Another giveaway that we've kind of found is where we, if the back and the sniffer are on the same side, meaning minus, they're away from twins, kind of not a dead giveaway, but kind of an indicator to get ready for jet or for bullet to the split side, right? So kind of how to classify it. So example, if it's twin open far minus, again, the sniffer's behind the weak side guard and the back's behind that sniffer, you're thinking bullet, right? Or you're thinking stretch, or you're thinking speed option, or whatever it may be, weak side. Now, I'm not saying it's all the time. Obviously, that could change. Obviously, offensive coordinators in this day and age keep me up at night. But it's important to classify both the sniffer and where the running back is in relation to the core and to the formation. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is, how we bring an open side blitz to the twin side. Okay, how we get that fourth man rush in our nickel. So here's kind of the template. Again, we're an odd front structure. Okay, we base, even in our ninth grade, we base out of 4I, 0-4I. I know in this template he's a head up 4, but we're going to base 4I, 0-4I. And even here, I got this question the other night. Coach, are you slanting? We do, but it's not something that we measure. It's not something that we're married to. We play technique with our 4I, 0, and 4I. So here's one answer. Here's one way to defend 20. And so our nickel or Sam backer, okay, we're going to bring him, and we can do a game plan, obviously, and we can talk about it on Saturday and Sundays, but like here, we're just going to call a nick, okay, a nick blitz, to where our nickel's blitzing outside, regardless of where the back is, whether it's, on the same side or away side, it doesn't matter. And one of the reasons we do this, and there's a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons we do this is because we want to set a hard edge to the twin side, okay. We want to set that hard C gap strong with the outside backer and bring a 4-man rush. We're going to get to a 4-man front, but again, can we slant? Yes, but we're not going to slant a lot out of it. And again, I talked about this 5 minutes ago that we're going to base too high structure. We're going to base out of palms, out of quarters, out of Narduzzi press, press quarters, press on 1, and the strong safeties playing out and up on 2. So we always want to, and I'm a secondary guy. I played secondary in college. I like coaching the secondary. And so we're always going to play a 3-over-2 look, with the corner, okay, the strong, and the Mike now. Okay, and the reason we push out the Mike, or what we call the push player, okay, is we want to establish, and we want to be 3-over-2 corner, strong safety Mike over 1 and 2. Again, bringing the nickel to set a 4-man rush or a hard edge strong. Okay, now, with that being said, we can push out this Mike for a reason, because he does not have a gap. Again, if we were a 4I, he would play the B gap, that anchor. The nose, obviously, hey, he would play in the backdoor A. So on this side of the Mike, he does not have a gap. Okay, so that's why we can push and we can cut him to become like the nickel, become like the outside backer. So again, the nose would play the A. The anchor, our strong side end, would become the B gap player, and the nickel, would become the C gap player. So that's why we can push and we can cut really, really hard that Mike backer to become the outside backer. Now, can we roll cover 3? And so the question I got, absolutely, yes, we can. Okay, but again, we minor in cover 3 and major in quarters. Can we run like what we would call Nick Sky, Nick cover 3? Absolutely. But we want to, again, stay in base too high structure. Okay, now, again, another thing we can do is we're going to bring this nickel, and we're going to get 1, 2, or 3 possible flush players to get to what we call a +1 or a +1 add-on out of this blitz. So from the sideline, all I did was call Nick. So this nickel knows that he's going, again, to set the strong side to, again, get the 4-man rush. And one of these will, Jack, or boundary outside linebacker, or free safety, is when it flushes, when that quarterback, if it's passed, again, if it's passed and he flushes out of the pocket, one of these guys is going to flush to become the +1 extra backer on the blitz. Okay, now I'll show you this one clip. Now we're doing this out of a 3-stack look. We 3-stacked it this night. So what we're doing here, okay, is we're bringing that nickel right there. And what we're going to do, and again, this isn't worried about back set. This isn't worried about, we were just bringing right here to set the hard edge to twins. So we're getting to a 4-man rush, playing technique with our 4-eye or 0 on 4-eye. And you'll see this Mike, he's going to cut and become the push backer and play 3/2 on the twins. Okay. Now, show you a tight view of this. Okay, so again, we're playing 4-eye, 0, 4-eye. We're not stunt, we're not moving up front. Again, notice that we're 50, 0, 50. So we're 3 stacked up. Again, we're a 3-4 odd front, but we 3 stacked this night and 2 back. And what we're doing again is setting this hard edge strong. And we're basically, obviously, you know, they run outside zone or stretch, 2-back stretch, weak, away from it. But we're going to get again to this flush player downhills. Again, if it was like pass, he would play over and under. He'd be the underneath player on the slant of 1. Okay, so that's how we're getting basically the 7th fitter in the box. Okay, we're not asking the Mike to be a fitter. We're asking 3 down linemen, our nickel, our will, our jack, and our free safety, to see at the top of the picture right there, to be the 7 fitters or the 4 backers in the box. Okay, so one more time from the wide view. So again, we're 3 stacked up this night, 50, 0, 50. We're bringing the nickel, playing quarters or some type of cover 4 idea on the twins. Pushing the Mike out. So again, you see we're 3/2 with the Mike, our strong safety, and our corner right here. Setting the hard edge. Now, what we did this night is if the quarterback went boot because they ran naked boot, we were peeling the nickel. Okay, we weren't asking the Mike to come be the slice player. We were peeling the nickel. So what we call blitz departure, meaning where the nickel's got to have his eyes, okay, is on the back. When that back goes away, now I've got to see the backdoor hip of the quarterback. So if he were to boot and go naked, now I've got to stick my foot in the ground and come peel and replace and become the boot player. Okay, get the end zone copy. Now, here we go. So you see the front, right? We're in a 4-eye here. We're in a 0 here. And we're in a 4-eye here. Again, notice we're 3 stacked up with a 50, 0, 50. And I'll get to how they're keying it here in the next clip. But again, here's a way that we can set a hard edge to the strong side, to the twin side, and bring the 4th. Now, we didn't worry about where the back was. Obviously, you notice their pistol. They played around with the back all night, plus, minus, pistol, all over the place. So we're bringing it to set the hard edge to the strength, the twin side, and pushing that Mike out. Now, here's another reason we love 4 eyes. Okay, when that guard leaves, so we're keying with that 4-eye, we're keying that leg, okay, that near leg to me. So it will be that kid's right leg, right? We're keying the knee to the hip area, and when that leaves, I'm leaving with it as the 4-eye. Okay, so there's one way to defend 20 of an off front structure out of 3 stack, okay? Now, speaking of 3 stack, here's where we're dropping 8. Again, we're a base drop 8 team. We are a 3-4, excuse me. We're a 3-4 with, again, some 4-man rush, some 5-man, 3 under 3 deep principles, but we base have a drop 8, rush 3 idea. So here's where we're playing a 4-eye, 0, 4-eye. Again, this night, you'll see the same opponent. This night, we're playing a 50, 0, and a 50. And the jack and the Mike are sniffer cannon. Okay, so again, this time I showed you the first clip where we're bringing the nickel and we're pushing the mic out. Well, this is part 2. This is, adding to your toolbox. This is part 2 of where now we're just dropping 8 and we're just playing, base defense. Okay, so the mic and the jack are keying this H right here, this sniffer. And what we taught the mic and the jack this night is you're keying the sniffer. And if he comes to you, you're going to spill it to an outside backer, to an outside what we call lever player, an outside box player. So what we were doing is we were using double spill, double lever run fits. Okay, so again, if it was here, and you'll see this clip, we're going to spill it, and this opponent right here, they tried to cut off the 4, double, went down, and they went, power kick. So we spilled the wheel. So again, there's your double spill with the wheel, double spill with the jack, and we levered it or boxed it with the free safety. This mic, because the H, again, he's keying the H. If that H was away from him, I became what we call the overlap player. Okay, so when it went away, I overlapped. Obviously, if the H came this way, again, the mic was going to spill it because he had an overhang. He had a nickel backer to lever it. So again, if we were to get, power kick or some type of GH look, again, the wheel would spill it. So again, there's your spill player, there's your spill player, there's your lever player. Again, there's your lever or what we were calling the overlap player. Okay, if if it were like type of gap scheme or something like that. Okay, on the twin side, the 1 and 2, again, we're playing some type of whether it's palms or I talked about another clinic you can find. You can ask me about this. We're playing press quarters. Okay, so if 2 are out, the strong safety's taking. If 2 are vertical, the strong safety's taking. Okay, what we call cover 8 or Narduzzi quarters, right? He ran at Michigan State and run at Pitt for however long he's been running. So. Anyway, so here's how this looks. I have a 3-stack structure. Let me get first the wide copy. All right, so they put FIB formation in the boundary. Okay, our nickel, by our rules, our nickel and jack, yeah, they're the outside linebackers, but our nickels are strong side or our Sam backer, meaning he's going to go to twins. Our jack is our weak backer. He's going to go to the open side. And I know they put twins, FIB, and the jack's to the field. I get it. But our nickel is we want him the passing strength. Our jack, we want him away from it. So again, you notice the 3-stack structure with the 4-eye, 0-4-eye. Again, we're dropping 8. We're not rushing anybody. The mic and the jack, again, are seeing this sniffer right here. Okay. The wheel, you see the 0-stack backer. He's seeing mesh. He's seeing mesh to flow. So he's going to get mesh. And he's going to see this guard pull. So you'll see him 1, 2, and backdoor it and spill the guard. So again, you see the down safety, right? We're playing like weak. We're playing quarters to 1 and 2. But we're playing like invert. Okay, we're playing like a weak cover 3. To that split receiver right there. So we're able to use that free safety basically now as a 7th fitter in the box. Again, earlier we were fitting this, right? We were fitting this and we were pushing the mic out. Well, the nickel was becoming like the 5 technique, right? So you're kind of getting a 4-man front structure. There was the wheel, there was the jack, and again, here was your 7th fitter. Well, now we're not bringing anybody, not doing anything different with the front, not doing anything different with the wheel, the jack, or the free safety. Okay, so again, we're using spill, overlap in this situation because, again, the sniffer was away from my overlap player. And that's another thing about playing 4s, man. We see a lot of dart, guard out and people do this, okay? But some people, they want to game plan it to where they're going to absolutely cut off that 4-eye with the tackle. I love when people try to do that because this happens right here. And these guys don't make no mistake. This is Stillwater, Oklahoma, okay? Stillwater High School, where Oklahoma State is. And these guys are unbelievably well coached. They're good. They're a great program. But this night, they made sure that guy was going to try to cut off that 4-eye, and it just didn't happen for them. Now, stop. So, again, this 4-eye right here saw the guard left him. So I'm chasing the guard. This nose is playing what we call lag. So he's going to grab and hold the center and play in the backdoor A. Okay, now when we play backdoor A with the nose, again, he's going to grab the center right there, stop. Now he's going to fill the double. He's going to fill the double of the guard. When that guard doubles him, he's going to throw his butt. You'll see this. He's going to throw his hip and butt into the crotch of the guard. That's a great job of playing lag. This 4-eye right here, same idea. When that guard's down, I'm going to play the B gap and put my head in the B gap. So that tackle's going to honor me and push me and force me into the B gap. Okay, I'll show you the end zone copy here in a little bit. So again, that guy's keying the sniffer. That guy's keying the sniffer. So from the end zone copy, okay, again, you see it's 4-eye, 0-4-eye with the 50-0-50 look. Obviously, really good job by our 4-eyes. The reason he's playing Division I football. But these two right here on the yellow dots, they're again looking at that sniffer. He came to the jack, so he's going to spill it. Again, this wheel's looking at the back to flow. So flow told him that it was pull, it was gap scheme. So he got pulled by the guard. He's going to spill the guard. Again, this mic right here is seeing the sniffer. So the sniffer 82 went away. I become the lever to overlap player. So again, we're using double spill, double lever run fits in this scenario right here out of the 3-stack. Okay, now 3-4. So this is our base right here. We teach our 7th graders. This is exactly what we play. This is what we call Okie, Frank. You know, some people call it tight. Some people, whatever you want to call it, right? This is Okie, 4-eye, 0-4-eye. So you notice that in stack and Okie are the same front for us, for our 3 down line. Now, our Mike and Will, how we're handling this, our Mike and Will are seeing the back to flow, okay? The jack and the free, okay, and we can game plan it, but the jack is seeing the H and the free safety is seeing the H too. Now, I know it says mesh to sniffer. It's kind of how we base, but we're playing a couple of ideas. We can apex it. So if we really wanted to apex between the X and the tackle, we could, or we use what we call a hammer call. Hammer is a fancy word that we use that our kids know to play a tight 5 technique. So that's all that hammer means for our kids. Okay, we give him the freedom. We give him the liberty of doing that to an open side. So if we wanted to, we could play hammer with a 4-eye, 0-4-eye, and a tight 5. Okay, now, this jack has eyes on the H. If I were to block out, and you'll see this, I'm going to box it. Okay, I'm not going to spill it. I'm going to box it because it's a glorified 9 technique. Okay, if I get the H out, the H base to me, I'm going to base with it. I'm going to box it. Okay, which means the free safety, you'll see this is going to fit that C gap. Okay, and you'll see that our opponent here in a little bit on the film, they run just good old-fashioned inside zone, but that H is more out here. Okay, he's just a tight end off. You know, if he were to step up 6 inches, he'd be a 3-man surface. All this is inside zone, but the H is off. All right, so they're going to run inside zone like this and try to, you know, just kick out that 9, right, that jack backer. So we're going to box it. Free safety's going to play the C gap. Tackle, he's going to play into the B. The nose is going to play the back door, the lag A. The anchor is going to play the B gap. The wheel is going to play the front side A, and the mic is going to play the back side, the back door C gap, which allows us to take that nickel out of RPO conflict and allow us to play 1, 2, 3 over 2, right? So we're taking the nickel out of conflict by how we're, again, keying the mic and the wheel on the back, the true back. All right, so I'll show you this from the tie copy first. Okay, so here we go. Again, it's twin, you know, tie copy, you obviously can't see it, but it's twins to the field. Here's the H again. If he was a tight end sometimes, he was an H off sometimes. He was the same dude, right? We talked about that earlier. He was the same guy, whether he was a tight end or an H. And so we treated him the same, whether he was, you know, standing up or his hand was in the dirt. So again, you'll see inside zone. We're boxing here. The free safety seeing the sniffer. When he boxes out, I'm feeling the C. B gap, back door A, B gap, front side A with the wheel, and you'll see this guy fall back or what we call paint the hip. Okay, you know, Coach Aranda, Dave Aranda at Baylor, he calls it nest technique. You'll see us nesting the backside C gap with our mic. Okay, so here's a great look at it again. We're playing 4-eye, 0-4-eye. We're not playing fours, not playing head fours. We're playing, inside eye of the tackle. We're playing 4-eye. So you'll see how this fits. I'll slow it down to start. Okay, stop. So here we go. Where's our B gap? Our nose is playing lag in the backside exit. Again, he grabbed the center. He felt the double of the guard. He's playing the backside A, so that gap's open. That gap is open for the will. He's the A gap player. This 4-eye does a great job climbing through and again, climbing through the double. He's the B gap player. Again, here's the C gap player because he's seeing the sniffer and the free safety. I got block out. I'm boxing the D gap and the jack. Again, the Mike, he's going to paint the hip and fall back to the C, which allows our nickel or our Sam backer to play really, the RPO on the back side, on the front side, I guess, of twins. Really good job by our front side 4-eye climbing through the double. This kid right here that you'll see, great job by him. Okay, so, there again, I know it's 2-back run game, but we treat it like 1-back zone, because again, that guy can move up 6 inches and he's a glorified tight end. Okay, now here's another one. Okay, where our opponent, now they offset the sniffer to behind the guard. Okay, we don't get in that game with people. Obviously, it's twins of the field. We don't get in that game of he's behind the guard, behind the tackle, or he's a Y off. He's outside shade of the tackle. We don't get in that game. We're going to key the sniffer again with that jack right there. And when I get block out, I'm going to go box it. Okay, I'm going to go box it right now as like a 9 technique. Okay, so from the end zone copy, all right, this number 9, he's seeing 33. He's seeing the sniffer. Okay, again, notice for 4-eye, 0-4-eye, we boss it over. So we put, because they were running like RPO both ways. They were running throw off the overhang pre-snap, or they were checking it, post-snap. So we bossed it over this night. So we definitely put our Mike in the C. Our Will, again, seeing 20. He's seeing the back to flow. So if he got pull game, he's going to spill the pull of the guard right here. Now, here was a changeup that we had with the nose. Instead of playing lag this night right here, we played push. Okay, so what push means is if I was still going to engage the center, but if I got push or if I got blocked by the guard, I was going to allow him to push me. Okay, I was going to allow him to push me into behind the 4-eye. Okay, and the reason we were doing that is because we were getting some quarterback counters, so they would go same side. Right, but they would run GT with the quarterback, so he'd fake it and go that way because they knew how we were keying the will, and that's also why we were bossing the Mike over. Okay, so we pushed, and it gave us an idea to gain a fit player, away from the back or away, to where the guard was pushing me as the nose. So you see where the nose, he now becomes the end. Right, so again, the end, this is my end right here. There's my 4-eye right there. Okay, so basically the nose became the 4-eye, and the 4-eye became the chase player because the guard was down. The guard was pull. Okay, now let's say you get Trey, right? You get that Trey off, so the H moved, and he's definitely outside the tackle to the twin side. Notice that the box didn't move. The anchor, nose, tackle, jack, Mike, Will, they didn't move. Their fits don't change. Okay, he's still seeing the back as the Mike. The Will's still seeing the back as the Will. The anchor, nose, tackle, they're still playing 4-eye, 0-4-eye. The jack, again, we tell him to apex or hammer depending on what he wants to do. Obviously, if I get hack or I get split zone, I'm boxing it. Okay, so this time right here, we're keying the sniffer. So it says, where it says sniffer key, if that sniffer, if he's away from me, I'm hacking with it. Okay, again, with the jack boxing, so I'm going to be inside the jack. If it's 3 out, obviously a nickel will take it, and I just become a 2-to-1 cut player. The weakness of this is, hey, I hope you have a corner who can win one-on-one backdoor. Okay, I know offense coordinators on this thing are saying, golly, that looks really, really appetizing, and I get it. I understand. I do. But, sometimes you got to dare them to throw it out there. Okay, so if you want to talk about answers of how we're going to do that, we can text about it. I'm not going to put that out here. But anyway, so sniffer key with the free safety. Again, if I get hack, I get any kind of pull, we're going to box the jack. The free safety is going to hack with the pull, hack with the H. So notice, what's the pro? What's the caveat to this? Your 3 back, your Mike Will jack, and your 3 down linemen don't move, don't change. They don't care where the H is, whether it's on the guard, the opposite guard, tackle, out. It doesn't matter. We're moving and navigating with the H with the free safety. Okay, so here's where you'll notice this guy in the end zone copy. He's like 1 by 1, but we treat it. You're going to get split zone right here. We treat it just like a 2-back scenario because they play with this guy. He was sometimes out here as a trip. He was sometimes behind the guard. He was sometimes behind the tackle. He was sometimes, this was a night where that guy right there was 2 by 2, 3 by 1. He was in the backfield. He was behind the guard. He was all over the place. They kept the same personnel on the field, but got in 9,000 different formations. So we didn't move the box. Again, I know you're saying, Coach, that looks really, really good, the offensive coordinator. I understand. I get it. But are you willing to throw it out there all night? So here you go. You see that our opponent runs, split zone or hack, whatever you want to call it. Go with the tight copy again. You notice we're playing 4-eye, 0-4-eye. The Mike Will jack didn't move. The jack, he's eyeing the sniffer. The free safety is eyeing the sniffer. The Mike and the Will are eyeing the back. Okay, to flow. All right, notice all it is it's just, split zone. And you'll notice our Will is going to fall back in the C, and our Mike's going to fall back in the front side A from the end zone copy. I'll show you that here in a little bit. Okay, so here's a really, really good look at it. We're playing lag. Notice our nose playing the backdoor A. That means 42. The Mike's going to play in the front side A. There's our front side 4-eye. Our nickel, obviously, because of the hack, the split zone went away. He's a C-gap player. Okay, the nose playing the backdoor A. 41 is going to play the B-gap right here because his guard went down. 34 is going to rock it back, or he's going to nest into the C-gap. They're going to create another gap by the split zone. So 7, my jack backer, he's the D-gap player. Again, 9, he's seeing that the hack, the split zone went away. So he's going to 1-2 step it and come all the way across. It's really good. You know you're doing it right. You know you're doing it right when 34, your Will linebacker tackles a split zone before he tackles the back. This is a really, really good job by Mike and Will right here. Notice the footwork. Notice, they're not downhill, okay? They're stack tracking. They're lateral 45 shuffle. And then track the flow. Like I said, they're back to flow. Okay, now here's where we're playing a 5 shade. You 4-3, you 4-2 under guys. You'll love this one. This is our answer to under front. Obviously, we play 3-4, and we're going to back this guy up 2 by 2, 3 by 3 with the jack. Now, if we wanted to, sure, yeah, we could play a 5 technique with him and move him down to 3 and play under. Obviously you can do that. But for us, like I said, we're a drop 8 defense, right? We're a rush 3, drop 8 base defense. So what we do is we 3 by 3 this jack right here. Can we rush him? Yeah. Rush him inside, rush him outside? Absolutely sure. But by our base, now we teach we're going to drop that jack. Again, playing different coverages over here with the corner nickel strong. The corner, you're going to mod man on demand or meg man everywhere he goes. Again, free safety, you're going to see mesh sniffer, or depending upon game plan, you'll just see the H, the sniffer, forget the mesh. All right, so now what we're doing with the front here, you know, you saw that we're playing a lot of 4-eye, 0-4-eye, but we're going to get to a shade. Meaning if we were playing a head-up nose and we're getting this, we're getting double, what's that mean? We're going to play a shade, right? We're going to get a shade to the back. Well, now we just put him there. Okay, so we put a 5 and a shade and a 4-eye. So a shade 5 to the twins. Okay, so we're putting shade 5 to the twins, and we're reading our anchor, our strong side in. We're going to read the block of the tackle. So if I get out block or lock, I'm going to come under. It's not a rip stunt. Now, it is a rip stunt after I've determined what the tackle's doing. If it's down or veer, you know, whether if it's this or it's pull or whatever it may be, okay, I'm going to try to breastplate, shoulder pad, and knock the tackle off the veer path, okay, off the sift path, right, to the mic. All right, so you'll see that we're trying to get somehow, some way to close the B gap with our anchor, our strong side in. And the mic, you'll notice, will become the C gap. We're gap reading right here. Okay, I'll show you this. So the next template, we're gap reading the wheel. If that gap goes out, man, I'm force fitting it. I'm punching it. Okay. Obviously, if it goes down, hey, I'm off the butt of the 4-eye because what's the tackle doing? He's seeing that guard. When it's down, I become like a chase 3 technique. So now the wheel, he's going to become behind the tackle. So film may make more sense to you. So here's a look, all right? So again, it's 20, right? They put the sniffer, again, it's the same night. Another night where they put that sniffer behind the guard, behind the tackle on as a tight end down, 3-man surface. So what we did is we put a 5 and a shade to the twins, okay? 4-eye away. Again, here's our walk-off 5 technique, right? Here's our jack 3x3. And again, the wheel right now is gap reading it. He's gap reading the A. If it opens, I'm punching the A. I'm force fitting the A. The end, or the 5 technique, should I say, and the mic, they are gap exchanging it based off the read of the tackle or the block of the tackle. So now when I go in the end zone, you'll notice 46 right here, okay, the 5 technique standing up. He's mad at himself because he didn't keep going. So you'll see that we got what we wanted. They went veer release to try to go, you know, kick. And he washed the tackle down the B while spilling. He's going to spill the hack, the kick by the sniffer. Okay. Now, I just want him to keep going. You'll see that he tries to, well, be an athlete and make a play. I want him to keep going right here. And you'll see 42, the mic, he's going to rock it back to the C. So again, you see the end, you see 46 trying to make a play. Just want him to keep going flat. He's got this right here is exactly what we want. Okay, right there is perfect. We watched 78. We watched tackle to the B gap. He played the B gap for us. Now 46 just needs to keep tracking, and the mic and 42 is going to work behind him. Okay, so again, weak side or away from twins. Again, here's our A gap player. Here's our B gap player. Here's our C gap player, and again, this night, number 9 is seeing the sniffer. So when he, you know, kind of hacked or he went same, you know, split zone, right, I'm chasing it. So all we do, guys, all we call this is a read tech, okay? So all we do is we're saying read, read, read. Again, it's a stunt after we've determined what that tackle's doing. Now, can we rip it and just say, hey, I don't care what tackle's doing, you're doing it? Yes, we can. Okay, but that edge is going to get real short real fast if you get some type of like scoop or you know, something like this. Okay, we want to read it. Okay, so again, here's another look at it. Now, when we talk about coverage, again, secondary guy, I can't help but talk about secondary play. We're playing a Narduzzi, you know, the Michigan State quarters, to where if 2's bubble or 2 out, the safe's going to drive it. And they run like RPO. They're running, you know, two back power kick right here and running RPO off our overhang. And so you'll see how we handle that with the strong safety coming down. And this guy right here, it took about 47 guys to try to tackle him. He's playing, or he was, I'm old now. He's playing Division I football for a reason. You'll see why. Okay, but again, here we go. Now, what we're doing here is, again, 9 is going, the free safety is going to line on the free safety. we're still read tech. Still going to read tech with that 5. So if I get out, I'm coming under. If I get down, I'm washing it. I'm washing that tackle down. You'll see 42, my mic, spill it, and 9 is going to become my box player, which allows this nickel to be out of RPO conflict. So we're using the free safety as basically the outside linebacker to be the box player. Okay, so there's a great look at it. C, B, again, my Will was playing gap read, A, nose in the A. Here's the B gap player. There's the C spilling it. 9, I wish he was more outside hip with the sniffer. There's your D gap. That nickel is out of RPO conflict, and we're playing 3-on-2 to twins. So there's a great way to fit, same side. Oh, they're trying to run same side insert, but they insert, lead. But they saw how, sniffer had to adjust based on what we were doing with the tackle. Okay, again, here's a great look at it. Okay, I'm going to show you this clip. To show you the adjustment we made. Again, we're reading right here with the 5. When that tackle tries to base me, I'm coming under, which makes the mic fall back to the C. Here's the read technique in the B. A gap nose, gap read the will, B gap with the 4-eye, C gap, and there's my bonus extra player in the free safety. Now I'm going to show you an adjustment we made at halftime. And here's when you have really smart kids. And this year, guys, this was 2016, and we played for the state championship. Got beat, went 12-1. We had an undefeated season, so we got the state championship. But this is when your kids start figuring stuff out at halftime. They can tell you what's going on. So they were trying to run inside zone and not even worry about the combo, not even worry about the double with the nose. Okay, they were sending that 50, that center right there, right now the will. And our will got tired of getting his ear jacked all night long. So we made an adjustment. I'll show you the adjustment next clip. So now the mic right here, he's too wide. I want him to be, now you'll see that he gets back to it. He sticks that right foot in the ground, gets back to the spill, okay? But you see he's too wide. I mean, his idea is his brain, his mind's in the right spot, his body's not. I want him to paint the hip. There's too much space right there. We don't want that. I want that kid right there to be off the hip of the offensive tackle. Okay, now again, his mind's in the right place, his body's not. Perfect. Now he's perfect. Now we're good to go. Okay, but if our mic was in the right place, 4 would bounce it right there at the nickel. Okay, and we're good to go on the split zone. Okay, now I'm going to show you the adjustment we made after halftime. I think this is it. No, next play. Okay. So now here we go. We're going to gap exchange it. Same thing with the nose, with the anchor, and the mic. We did not change. So this was, again, the same opponent. We went at halftime, and our kids, our 16, 17-year-old kids, told us exactly what was going on. And that's when we knew we had a special year, special season. There's a reason we played the state championship that year. And so now you'll know, instead of gap read, we're going to gap exchange. So instead of seeing that gap, open, closed, we're now going to key the center with the will. Because, again, like I talked about, that center was so fast up to the second level, they weren't even worrying about the combo on the zone shade, on the shade, okay? So now, from here, nose, mic, anchor didn't change. Nothing changed there. This changed with the will by seeing the center. Okay, and I'll show you this clip right here. So remember me showing you the center was climbing so fast to the next level. Well, now this will backer is keying the center. Okay, if that center comes to me immediately right now, the will's going to fall behind it. He's going to fall behind the nose, because that means the center's gone. Now the nose is going to play A gap to A gap. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. Again, this is nothing we drew up on Saturday or Sunday or even practice, guys. Okay, we taught gap read, gap read, gap read. Now, we obviously taught this, right? We taught the nose 5 and the mic, but we didn't teach anything. We didn't teach anything with the wheel. This was a series and a halftime adjustment. So you see how the nose plays A to A now because 50, the center's gone. And the wheel is going to play back door of it. Again, the 5, the nose, and the mic didn't change. You see that we're still trying to be heavy or read technique with the 5. If I get, sift or veer, I'm going to knock him to the B and play the dive. One more time on that. I love this clip right here because this is like the first series of after halftime, and our kids figured out how to do this. This is great stuff. Okay, so here it is again. Now here's where our nose, he and the center, they had a war this night. I'm sure there were a few exchange words that were said this night, but our will is seeing the center. If the center comes to me, I'm falling back behind it. Now, here's what their adjustment, because they saw how we were doing it. They stayed on the double. Well, what happens is, we told the nose, if you get double like we were playing push earlier, you're going to come over to the front side A gap. Okay, I'll show you this. Like that. Now, I want the nose to just stay in that gap. Stop. We're perfect. We're A with the nose, B with the 4-eye, C with the jack. We're good to go. There's my will playing back door. Again, the 5 technique didn't change. We're still reading that dude. He even played a 4. He got to playing, being comfortable playing a head up 4 doing this. So we're actually playing a 4, a shade, and a 4-eye. Okay, so one more time. Same thing. It was great on pull game too. So if you got like GH or power kick or whatever, we're still seeing the center. He came to me, I'm playing behind the center. All right, here's the last one on 20. Here's a way that you're going to fit a 5 technique all the way across the A gap and use him as an extra fit guy. Okay, so again, this 5 technique, right? We talked about that. We're reading the tackle. He blocks out. I'm coming under. Now, my next visual key is if that guard pulls, I'm going to pull all the way with it. And you'll see this 5 technique. We worked this. We practiced this. And this is something we stole from somebody, okay? The nose, if he got back block, he stood there, right? Because he didn't get comboed. He didn't get doubled. The nose got back block. He stays in the A. But the 5, I got base. I come under. When the guard leaves, I'm going to cross face or go behind the nose and become like an extra fit player. Again, for the will, his center went away. What's that tell me? Now it becomes like gap read or force fit. You see a lot of guys, you see guys in the NFL talking about fill fold. Guys, we did this in 2016. We're going to fill it and we're going to fold it with the mic because it's pull. So again, one more time, here's how you gain an extra fit player with a 5 technique going all the way to the opposite A gap. Number 1, again, you're going to read the lock, the base, the lockout by the tackle. That guard pulls, I'm pulling with it. So now, here's how we knew we were doing this right. Now, I know you're saying, Coach, who's got that gap right there? Wouldn't you do this and fit the mic there and we'd box the jack and use the free safety? Yeah, and we talked about that. But here's what we found out in practice on a Monday afternoon. We found out that we can play that gap right there with him. And so we can fill it with the will and fold it with the backside mic backer. It's one of the really things that was something that we worked on, something we talked about on the weekend, something that really helped us. Okay. Third down. I'm going to give you a few things about third down. I think I got a couple minutes here. Third down. 3 rules, third down. First off, don't make third down be like first down, second down. It's its own entity. Practice third down every day. Third and long on Monday. Our kids know it. Third and long. Third and long sometimes it's always 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8. Third and long could be 3rd and 5. So your job as a coach is to do the breakdown, put in all the input data, and find out where the cut is. When we talk about the cut, okay, where is the cut where the pass-run ratio dramatically changes? So if they're 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, and they're 60-40 pass run or 60-40 run pass, then on 3rd and 5 it's like 90 pass, 10 run. That's 3rd and long. We don't classify 3rd and long as like, okay, 3rd and 7, the end of the discussion. No. We classify third down to be where does the pass-run ratio dramatically change? Okay, number 2, don't do the same thing over and over and over. Build packages, multiple simplicity. Guys, I've told you, I like having a lot of tools in my toolbox to run on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down, and then make your opponents work on 3rd down. Okay, that OC who's preparing for you, don't allow him to have 3rd and 9 do the same thing as 1st and 10. You made his job very easy on Saturday and Sunday. Give him different packages, different personnel groupings, nickel, dime, whatever your packages are. Okay, make that OC work on 3rd down to where he's got to put in his script at least 2 or 3 days a week to where, all right, we've got to work 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. Right? It's not like 1st down. So on his column, on his big, beautiful, play card sheet that's got like 47 colors and sections and all that other, okay, there better be a 3rd down section that he doesn't like because you've given him all sorts of stuff to look at on 3 or 4 opponent films. Okay. I'm not going to throw all this, but your the 3rd down thoughts never change, but your personnel does. What's your best personnel on 3rd down package for you? We do this out of base. We can do this out of different, different packages. Guys, I've done a 3rd down package out of a 1-5-5. I had 1 D lineman, 5 linebackers, and 5 DBs. I've done it out of a 1-4-6 to where, this package is the same. One package in 2015 on 3rd and 7 was a 1-4-6. In 2018 was a 2-4-5. Okay. Run the reports, talk about that. Where's the cut? Where's the down and distance, the run pass ratio dramatically change? Okay. Where do you feel comfortable to get crazy, bring heat, steal from the offense and say, hey, that receiver right there who catches a lot of balls, what if we said, hey, go sack that guy? Or what if we put him in the middle of the field and played cover 3? Right? You're giving that dude one job, and you got the best 11 dudes in the hallway on the field on defense on 3rd and long. Okay. Play fast 3rd down. Go back to day 1. You can run your base blitzes, right? We do some exotic stuff. You'll see us do some where all 11 are standing up. We're bringing 3, or we're bringing 4, or we're bringing 5. What can your kids do best? And are you doing the same thing over and over? Stop doing the same thing over and over and over, right? You can't keep running 2-man on 3rd down. Mix in some zero, mix in some cover 1, mix in some trap stuff, right? Practice 3rd down every day. It's its own entity. 3rd down is important 1st and 10 because your kids, you work so hard 1st 10, 2nd and 6, and now it's 3rd and 6 or it's 3rd and 5 or whatever. You need to practice that. Make your opponent hate 3rd down. Okay, so again, I talked about this. Here's where all 11 – I'm going to get to this in a little bit. Here's where all 11 dudes are standing up. Okay, notice the D&D, guys. It's 3rd. All right, there's 1 down marker. There's the other down marker. It's 3rd and 10. And I'm not worried about in this situation. We'll call it renegade package. I'll get to that in a little bit. I'm not worried about run fits. If they run the football, they wave the white flag, and if they get 4 yards, good for them. Way to go. It's 4th and 6 punt. Right? So here's a situation where, they got 20 and ran the football. That's fine. But there was them saying, we wave the white flag, we're punting. Okay, developing 3rd down packages. Again, talking about own entity. Find a way to get the 4th and 5th DB on the field. Here's the deal. You may have that 12th or 13th or 14th kid who's on the sideline. He may not be your top or best 11, but he can get on the field somehow, some way, and you're trying to find a job for him. What can he do? Well, 3rd and 7, he can drop in the middle of the field. 3rd and 8, he can cover a back. 3rd and 8, he can blitz the edge. right? It creates buy-in. It gives those guys a job. It also pulls your nose off the field on first, second down who, you know, let's face it, you know, those games in late August and early September, you need to get your nose a blow every once in a while. Instead of leaving him in for 60, 65 snaps, take him out and make him play 50 or, you know, 52 snaps, right? Get the 4th and 5th DB on the field. It gives those guys a job and creates a buy-in. Now, don't be afraid to put that sophomore in and give him one job. All right, hey, right here, you are going to sack the quarterback and blitz the big guy. Ready to go. Because it's 3rd and 7, it's 3rd and 8, it's 3rd and 9. Okay? Have more than one third down package. Every night we go in, we're going to have at least 3 third down packages, at least. Some nights, guys, I've had 6. Some nights I've had 7. And we're going to make the offense prepare for multiple packages and multiple blitz patterns too. You know, so one of them is what we call wide front. Okay, like wide is what we call 5-0-5. Okay, we're wide 5 again. Notice it's 3rd and like 14 here. Wide is where we get our 2 best edge rushers. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be. Let me go back to this. Where is it? It doesn't necessarily have to be. Well, I guess I don't have it. You know, defensive end types. So like those dudes, this package right here is a, let's see, 2D lineman, outside backer. So this would be a, let's see, this is a 2-5-4 package for us in this situation right here. Now, we tell this guy, you can put your hand in dirt. I don't really care. It's up to you. He liked putting his hand in dirt because he felt like he was a D lineman. That's whatever. But this is what we call a 5-0-5. And we're giving them, you know, how are you going to block this? You know, you're going to 4-1, which if you do, perfect. That puts your offensive tackle on our best edge rusher. So they went 4-1 slide, perfect. We got what we want right here, one-on-one. And you're playing whatever coverage you want in the back end. And all we did was bring in 4-man pressure and got the sack because that outside linebacker put his hand in the dirt, became a wide 5 technique, and sacked Q. So you're making those dudes decide how in the world are you going to block this. Again, they went 4-1 slide. We took 3 rushers. Notice 1, 2, 3 rushers for 4 of their offensive linemen. That means we got one-on-one with their tackle and an outside backer. Again, we subbed it. We personneled it on 3rd and 10. We get the pressure and we get the sack. Okay, show you this one. I'm running out of time here. Yeah, creating matchups. All right, so here's one. Again, this out of wide. What we're doing with the mic and the wheel, we're reading the slide. If the slide, again, we're a wide 5. We're a 0. We're a wide 5. Okay. Now the mic and the wheel. If the slide goes away from me, you'll see them go 4-1 slide right here. If the slide goes away from me, I'm going to insert the mic because that gives us a one-on-one. I'll show you. Okay, so again, you'll notice 6 right here, the mic backer. 6 and 21 are reading the slide. So it's 5-0-5. If the slide goes away, which it does in this scenario, the mic's going to insert, and that gives us one-on-one with the back and one-on-one with the 5 technique. Okay, so we would call this read. Okay, so this would be like a read stunt. Not a stunt, but like a read blitz. Now 21, the wheel, he just becomes a replacer because the slide went to him. So again, you got one-on-one with the mic, you got one-on-one with the 5 techniques. They went 4-1 slide. And again, there's the sack right there. Okay, the other way you can do it is you can blitz into the slide. Coach, why in the world would you want to do that? So we game plan it this week to where if the slide came to me, so again, they went 4-1 slide, again, out of 5-0-5, now they're standing up, and that's fine. Again, notice it's 3rd and like 14 right here. Okay, so now the slide, if it comes to me, now I'm going to insert and blitz because what that does is that's going to take up 3 of our rushers and 4 of their offensive linemen, and I'll show you. So this mic right here is reading the slide. They're actually both, they're both reading the slide. But this kid right here, the slide came to him. He's going to insert, and I'll show you what it does for us. Now, Notice that we've used up 2 of our defenders for guard, center, and guard, and now we've got one-on-one on the edge and one-on-one on the edge. We've got the matchup that we want, all based off reading the slide. So from the end zone copy, here's how it looks. Okay, and then the last one, I'll leave you with this one, guys. Renegade. Renegades is awesome. It's simple. It's fun. It makes people work on it. The best looking guys you got. Go to the head coach, go to the offense coordinator, say, give me the faster running back and the fast receiver you got. The kids love it. It breaks up the monotony of practice. Creates confusion for the offense. How many you bring? You bring 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the package? Is it dime? Is it nickel? How many D linemen you got? And guys, we've done this with 0 D linemen on the field. Okay, we've done this with like 4 DBs, 4 linebackers and 7 DBs. Okay, so, and then you'll notice our terms, I'm big on verbiage. You'll notice our terms are all Native Americans. When we say renegade, that's just the package. That's just the people that are on the field. And then we can call these Native American terms that tells us the blitz to run. Okay, the blitz / coverage that we're going to run for the blitz, okay, for the package. Okay, so here's, something where we're, again, I talked about it. Like here we're playing 2-man. Again, notice it's 3rd and 10. And notice how all we're going to do is we're bringing 4 guys, and we take up 6 of their blockers and playing 2-man in the end. We've got a spy. Here's my spy right there on the back. Again, we're playing 2-man in the back end. The quarterback was not a running threat this night, so we didn't worry about the quarterback. If he ran, it was a good night for us. So you notice that these 4 are blitzing, and we call this Apache. We tell those guys on Apache, you blitz any gap you want to as long as we have 2 outside rushers. So you'll notice we have 2 edge rushers. There's 1. There's 2, again, playing 2-man in the back end. You'll notice they keep the back and technically with 6-man pro when we take up actually 6 of their blockers for 3 of our guys. That guy right there is coming free. If you don't get the ball off, it's sack and it's punt. So from the end zone copy, they don't know how to block it. Okay, they don't know how, if big on big, read it, how are we going to do it? Again, that guy right there came free. You don't get rid of it, it's sack. So again, renegade, we call it renegade. It's a package, it's a personnel. It's a different personnel. It's fun for the kids, and they love it. Okay, here's one where that kid decided to put his hand down. Perfect, that's fine. Now we're going to bring some type of pressure and cover this X receiver. If that guy caught the ball, we were in trouble. So notice we're doubling the X receiver on the backside. Okay, so here's axe, what we would call axe. Again, Native American term. You see the spy. He's going to drop out. There's the spy right there. Went axe. Notice that there's an A gap, and notice the X cross. Again, we have 2 edge rushers setting the contain, right? And I tell them, guys, I don't care who goes first. I don't care who goes second. Surprise me. So I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you got guys. I hope you got something out of it, Coach. Well, what just happened here, Coach? You get anything out of that?
Yeah, that was awesome, Coach. I appreciate it. A lot of good stuff, man.
Let me throw out my contact one more time. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's see. AZ Clinic. There we go.
Guys, if you have a question, turn on your camera. Or tell you what, let me unmute. Let's see how quiet we're sitting at home.
Dang.
All right. Anybody have a question for Coach? Did you put your stuff up there, Coach? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I've got my face is still on there. Guys, my Twitter's at Coach Gower. DM me. My DMs are open. Would love to talk. I mean, I say, keep my 14-month-old. He's in bed. I've married and here's another thing. So I'm born and raised Oklahoma. I'd only been out of Oklahoma. I was coaching Division II ball at Houston State University in Arkansas. That was the first time I was away from home. So when I got this opportunity, it was April of last year. And our 2-month-old, he was 2 months old at the time. I said, "Hey, babe, guess what? We're moving to Texas." And so she, without batting an eye, here we go. We called U-Haul, and here we go. We're in Texas now. So
good for you.
But for real, guys, ask a question or tell me a better way to do things, because I sure don't have all the answers. Anybody, please?
Hey, Coach. Hey, Coach. Ja'Cory Jacobs here, Saguaro High School in Arizona.
Yes, sir.
Hey, a lot of great stuff, Coach. I mean, I think one of the comments that I have is it was a lot of sexy things going on and some concepts there. So one of the things I noticed on a couple of the clips, you don't really honor motion that much. Can you talk to us a little bit about if you got a high motion team that's sitting in the 20 personnel, understanding what your keys are, what do you do from a role and responsibility standpoint? Does it stay the same or do you check?
Yeah, so like for us, there's nobody to play on here. So for us, we rotate everything with the safeties and the corners. We try to keep the box intact a lot. Now, and here's the thing, like I said, disclaimer, and I'm being serious, guys. You can come watch our 10 ball games in Texas. Guys, we see very little motion. You come see us in Oklahoma, and I was in Oklahoma, the large classification. I was in 6A large classification in Oklahoma. After Coach Barnes at Chaparral, he was the head coach when I was there. We saw very little motion, guys. And so to answer your question, I'm trying to back out of it. We handle everything with the safeties. We handle everything with the back end. And so we go through a motion adjust period once a week or whatever it is. But it's I'm telling you, it's not a lot that we see motion, Coach. And so, like, you'll see, where's this one at? Hold on. Shoot. Bear with me. I'll find it. You talking about just out of base personnel? Coach? Hello?
Yeah, he muted me. Just out of base personnel.
Yeah, okay. So let me show you this one. All right, so you'll notice this right here. Wait, where's my share at? Stop. Where's my share? There's my share. All right, here. So out of this one, this night what we did, because it was two back, right? What we're going to do is if I got motion away, I was going to go play hot to one. This corner's going to squat it right there. He's going to become the jet player. That safety's taking his eyes to number one. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So notice the box doesn't change. We're telling this corner, hey, good luck, bro. You're on an island. Because, God, guys, they run quarterback run game. Come on, God. They're running art veer and power veer. Holy good gracious this night. Now, this call, what we're doing with this call is we're actually telling the jack to take the jet. We're taking the motion with the jet and using the free safety to see gap player. But in saying all that, Coach, we don't see a lot of motion stuff. I mean, if we do, we're going to trap it or we're going to spin 3 to it, to be honest. I mean, that's just the easy adjustment.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, what another beauty of split field quarters, base defense. Your safeties, your adjusters, and not a lot of rotation and spinning and all that kind of stuff. So that's good. Box stays the same. Like it, love it. Hey, thanks, Coach. I appreciate you. It's all good. I know I'll be reaching out. We'll be talking some ball here soon.
Perfect. Sounds good. Guys, anything else, before we leave, I hope I gave something to you. Like I said, holler at me, let me know. Sure. And that's not, I'll leave you with this. I really hope that you guys didn't go away saying, what the hell did he just say? Please let me know. I love, Adam with the Z. I don't want to butcher your name. I apologize. But what you're doing with the 3 stack, we're 3-4 and 3 stack a little bit. I was watching you for 5 minutes and stole something. So anyway, guys, holler at me if you got questions, comments. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you very, very much.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Hey, guys, have a great night. Appreciate you. And we'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
See you guys. Good night.